right, y'all give me a second. I got a little noise in the background. It's a little warm out today. But listen, I know, of course, most of y'all wanted to hear me talk about this, so I'm going to talk about it real quick because I'm thinking, I'm not going to have time to talk about this later because I got another live, actually. So I'm going to answer a couple questions for y'all, all right, of what I think. And usually I'm right on these things. So give me a second. Let me share this in a minute. But I want you to know, my name is Davin Lewis. Many people know me. I was in the music industry for a very long time. And so I know 2 or 3 things about this. So today's topic basically is about Cassie and reportedly her moving out of the country. Now, I don't know if it's the truth or not. I've got some doubts, and I'm going to let y'all know about those doubts in a minute. Just let me share this, get this out to everybody. Now, 1 second, guys. Let me All right, I figure everybody will follow in sooner or later. So right now we at the 1 count, but what's going on? I ain't been live here in a minute. Usually I do uploads or whatever, but certain conversations I have to talk about because you won't translate them very well if I'm just sitting there and I'm throwing up a post that's like 8 minutes long or something like that, right? So if you guys don't know, my name is Davin Lewis. Many people know me. I was in the music industry. Started out the street team and worked my way up, and I'm an artist as well. So I was next to Diddy and almost, I think, 3 subsequent distributors they went through, which was Atlantic Records. I started out at BMG, Versatile Music Group, and ultimately ended up, my last stay with them was at Interscope. So I know a little bit thing about the music business. I covered this story. I was down there at the trial for Diddy just recently with Cassie, which is only a little under a year ago now. It's not that long ago. So with that in mind, just so you know, I got some insight on what I'm talking about here. So first thing that stuck out to me today, let's just jump right into it. If you guys do or don't know, Cassie has reportedly moved out the country. That's what they're saying. I don't know this to be true. And there's a couple of things there that keep me abroad to a couple other things that might be speculative. I'm going to tell you one of those things right now. First of all, she said, I remain a U.S. citizen, but I'm living outside the U.S. That means that she's probably living in a country that's a U.S. territory, like a Puerto Rico is considered a territory. Hawaii is considered a territory, and there's subsequently a couple other Caribbean islands. I think Bahamas is one of them. It may not be Bahamas, it's Virgin Islands, and then it's somewhere else, I forgot. But these are subsequently places you can go without a visa. You can travel these places and go back and forth under U.S. constituency, but at the same time, they have their own forms of government to a certain degree, like Puerto Rico. So with that being said, understand this. That could be the thing, or she could be in Bali. That's another place she could be at. So I'm not here to track her down to say where she is. I don't want y'all to know where she is. I think with her having kids and everything like that, I don't want anybody trying to track her down. People are kind of doing this. That's how they ascertained this information. They got it through which was an article, and somehow or another siphoned down into the news cycle, and now everybody's talking about it. So I'm not promoting to anybody that y'all go look and see where Cassie's at, find out where she's at, alert the internet, you know what I mean, like we do. That's not the conversation. The conversation is, why would you do that? Well, there's a lot of things that come along with having $30 million. And if you've ever been in the music industry, you know one of those things is taxes. Now, will she have taxes on the money that she received in the settlement? No, they don't tax that money. But what she would have taxes in is any property that she owns per se after that. And when you have $30 million at your disposal, even $2 million at your disposal, trust me, if somebody was in the music industry, the first thing you want to do is invest that money. Because that money is, see, I'll give you an example. You buy a property, and even though the property taxes might be high on it, they subsequently won't be as high as they would with other taxes in your state. So say in Connecticut here, we have luxury tax. We also have a high car tax, and we also have high taxes on homes. So, and all for that, and it differentiates here and there a little bit throughout the state, but it does. Cassie's from Connecticut, all right? She's from this state. Now, I knew she was gonna go move back here because, well, this is too expensive for her, and they'll blow through that money in a minute. $30 million is a lot of money, but you give it 10 years, you could blow through that with a couple bad investments. For example, Nicole Murphy, who is Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, if y'all know, a very pretty girl. She did an investment, and the investment went foul. And she did this by giving a guy a certain amount of money. I think Eddie Murphy had given her well over like $50 million or something like that. And she spawned it with this guy in an investment. It might be a little bit more than that. She spawned it with this guy in the investment, and the investment went away, and the guy got arrested. It was a whole bunch to it, but she never got the money back. So you can have series of bad investments or whatever, and then the money can just go flat within even 5 years. All right, this is reality. Now, to avoid that, one of the biggest things that you want to do is you want to make sure to invest your money. You understand what I'm saying? That way it's sitting there and something can happen. I'll give you an example. Jay-Z has a lot of Basquiat paintings. I think he's got like 3 or 4 of them he owns right now. All right. Now, Basquiat, if y'all don't know who he is, world-renowned painter with the likes of Madonna, Jesus Christ, who else? I'm trying to think of the guy's name with the glasses. I always forget his name. Andy Warhol. A lot of y'all at a certain age ain't gonna know who these people are, but look them up. Basquiat, in my opinion, that's who Jay-Z was trying to emulate with the dreads. But you know, that's out for the pasture. And on top of that, Basquiat was from Brooklyn, so shout out to Brooklyn. Just like Jay-Z. I'm not from Brooklyn, but shout out to Jay-Z. So anyway, moving on. Jay-Z has all these paintings, right, that he bought or whatever. Those paintings sit, trust me on this one. If those paintings sit there, you can do certain things with those paintings. One of those things you can do with those paintings is you can donate it. Now, the donation and the write-off for them taxes is going to subsequently take care of the taxes you would have had for the year. I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you that. I don't need a theory. I don't need any of that to know. There's other subsequent, other different things you can ascertain to avoid certain taxes or certain types of setups you can do as well, too, to avoid different types of taxes. I'm very well known of them. Do I practice any of them? No. But I'm aware of them. Now, everybody utilizes these tax write-offs and breaks and everything like that. And a lot of times when it gets to the public, y'all think an individual is taking advantage of you personally, but really what they're taking care of, what they're taking advantage of was the actual tax market itself. You understand what I'm saying? Avoiding high taxes. Now, listen here. $30 million. I don't care what you talk about. Sooner or later, it's going to be gone. You know what I mean? This is not somebody, she's what, 38, I think? Yeah, $30 million could be gone within 10 years. We used to be around, if you guys have ever seen any of my pictures I put up and things like that, I've been in every car you could think of. Bentleys, Bentley Coupes, Maseratis, anything you could think of. Pretty much I got a picture in, picture around, a road in, a drove. This is a God honest truth. So, and many of y'all know that from the pictures I've shown y'all and everything like that. That stuff cost. And once you go buy a Corvette, I heard she went to buy a Corvette. Once you go buy a Corvette, you know what the upkeep on that is? You know what the upkeep or the house that costs $2 million is? This is $2 million, and if you're on and you got yardage, it's going to cost you a lot to keep that yard, everything maintained. So you're talking about overcost that technically the cost that you got on a lease or something like that, you got another set of costs on top of that, just for repairs and everything like that. You go get a Bentley, you go get a Lamborghinis, they break down a lot. What's the other ones break down? Range Rovers, they break down. Maybe not so bad now, but they used to. I'm trying to think the other one. Oh yeah, another crap car. Not a crap car, a good car, but when it breaks down, it costs you a couple dollars, and it breaks down a lot, and oil problems a lot. BMW, believe it or not. If you got a choice between a Mercedes and a BMW, go with the Mercedes. You're going to spend less money. This is why they're always out there for years. Anyway, I think, and this might be open jabber to some of y'all, but to me, I think Cassie left because to avoid something else. And I think that's the continuing of certain lawsuits is going to keep going on. Now, at some point or another, when you travel back and forth, you can do that for about 2-3 years. Then customs and immigration is going to catch up with you. And they're going to say, well, you got a residency outside the United States, but you keep coming back to the United States. And they're going to customs stop you. They'll talk to you first. Then there'll be an interview with INS. After that, it'll be an interview with probably FBI and customs first. Then after that, we need surveillance centers. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't like it. I mean, we got surveillance people right now, but if you want to go in the direction of China or something, we can get in that conversation in a minute. Talking about social credits? Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's too much monitoring of people. I think the way this information itself is ascertained, that's why I said I'm not going to be like a nefarious, infamous type of post, you know what I mean, about Cassie. It's very different than that. I think it's kind of sickening that people are so... See, people are now voyeurs. Whether you realize it or not, people are voyeurs. And what we look forward to every day as voyeurs is that dopamine rush, which is prying into somebody else's life. But sometimes, in my opinion, people go a little bit too far. I find it more fondly a lot of times with the women. All different races, all different cultures or whatever. Some of these women on here are so vicious to one another. Skip a man, to one another. It will blow your mind. I've watched every program you could think of, from Fresh to Fit to even ones that are more moderate and less extreme, and they all have the same conclusions a lot of times when it comes to the women. The women are vicious. Now, many of y'all, whether you know it or not, you're privy to it. Cassie was involved in a lot of these things. Another thing I hold Cassie for a lot of times, and I hate to say it, is the fact that you met this man in this man's home and started dealing with him. I will never let that go. Let me tell you something. Had it not been Puff and it hadn't been in the spotlight, some men go into fits of rage and they do stuff to you when shit like that happens. You know what I'm saying? Even if they never caught you sleeping with each other, they never caught a text between each other, whatever, the speculation is enough to make most men, the average Joe, go off. Anybody disagree with that, let me know. It's even a term for it's called infidelity, whether you're a girlfriend, boyfriend, or whether you're a husband and wife. It's the same trajectory. It's the same outcome. So I don't agree with that. A lot of men, they'll be so in love with you. A lot of women don't understand this. A lot of men will be so in love with you that a lot of terrible things happen sometimes. So, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about him and her relationship. I'm just talking about in general. Some men will tear the phone off the walls. You know what I'm saying? To break the TVs, everything. Just for the speculation that you're cheating with a man that I hired in my home. A man that I hired in my home. You started a relationship with him. And many people are trying to define it. Oh, he was reaching out to her. I bet he was. She initiated sleeping with him, and subsequently now they have a family. Now, you can look at that however you want to. History is history. They're in a relationship. So I'm not here to con the relationship. I'm not here to joke the relationship. Whatever it is, it is. But I'll never forget that part of the story, because many other men have been cheated on before. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Now, this is my thing. There's a lawsuit, set of lawsuits. I don't know the details of those lawsuits because I don't have my second device for me right now, so I can't tell you. But whatever the details are of that lawsuit, they were civil lawsuits. That much I can tell you. Now, those civil lawsuits now, if she stays out of the country, let's say 3 to 4 months more than whatever she's previously stayed out of, at some point or another, INS is going to get involved. I'm not concerned about that. That's her issues. But there's something else that subsequently might happen too. Those lawsuits get dropped because they have to be adjudicated here in the United States. So you have to be a United States citizen for them to withhold and still keep pending. And that's the part that's going to mess it up. Y'all ain't understand what I said, huh? I covered the Diddy case. I covered the Jonathan Majors case in person at the courthouses, right in New York City. They're up on this channel if y'all want to check them out. Also covered Trump's child or whatever. I'm not a lawyer. Pretty sooner or later, you get a little privy with the law. One of the things I got privy with the law was this. There's a certain thing in perimeters that go with civil lawsuits versus, being adjudicated for crimes. When you're doing civil lawsuits, there's a lot of parameters that you have to stick to. One of those things is being in the United States. And you can say I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is very true. A lot of lawsuits and things like that, they end up getting ultimately tossed because the person is not in the United States, they're not around, or whatever the case may be. So therefore, they can't proceed with said lawsuit. Now, this is what I'm going to say. If she's not around at a certain time, or whatever the case may be, whether she's getting served or whatever the case may be, those lawsuits would then become void. The civil lawsuits. They're not adjudications of the law against crimes. They're civil lawsuits. Now, if they get tossed or whatever, that puts Puff in a good position. And also start an avalanche of other different cases getting tossed or whatever. And who knows? Maybe Cassie is doing a favor. You know? We don't want to attack Cassie. Maybe Cassie is doing a favor. You know, favors come in many different ways. So I'm not attacking Cassie. I'm just speculating. Now, I know y'all was wondering and wanted to hear my thoughts on the Daphne Joy tape. I told you. Kanye West voice. I told you. You know what I'm saying? Extended thoughts. 50 Cent, I think, even his response was light. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that out of him. His response was light. It was funny. It was in humor. And that's one of those situations, Sometimes you just got to remember. See, somebody got my chick before. It happens, you know what I mean? Somebody, you love her to death. That's not her. You know what I'm saying? It happens. You know what I mean? It happened to me. It's going to happen to some of y'all watching me right now. You know what I'm saying? I say you ain't even really a man until you've been crushed by a woman. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. You ain't fit for survival until you've been crushed by a woman. An older man told me that when I was younger, and I'm telling y'all to say that it's true. You know what I'm saying? That'll set you up for the woman you're supposed to be with, to be honest with you. So never take it as a mistake and spend 20 years crying and sighing, but dog, it's been a minute now. Like, let it go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for the whole New York City, just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because that whole conversation is just an L. No matter how it goes, it's an L. You understand what I'm saying? Because what she did, in the extremities of what she did, and everybody saw it. That's like comparative to nowadays. Like, it's kind of normal, to be honest with you now. That's why I hate when this is left out the conversation. We got dozens of girls on OnlyFans that do all kinds of shit. I mean, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever fetish you like, and nobody blinks an eye. I remember when Bad Baby, she joined OnlyFans when she turned exactly 18. And I know that everybody that signed up to our OnlyFans was not 18, 19, 20 years old. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to keep in order. Like, if you're going to charge one person or go to extreme and demonize somebody, we got to demonize them all together. Now, that tape being released on, I believe it was Monday, I didn't say nothing about it because I thought it was kind of like obvious that I would say something. It'd be obvious that I would talk about it because of my history with Bad Boy Entertainment. But nah, me personally, I just say like this. It's out there. Everybody knew from the trial a year ago. So what's one more tape? You know what I'm saying? What's one more tape? What's one more tape? What's one more tape? I think people's infatuations nowadays and their voyeurism, because you have to be a voyeur to watch that tape. I want to say, I watched one vlogger. They were getting ready to play it on their podcast, and he knows who he is. He's from Connecticut. I ain't gonna say his name because sometimes that brings some bad aura, but he's from Connecticut, and I met this man in person. You know what I'm saying? Stand up dude from my view, and I can say this. I mean, he broke it down the right way. I don't want to see the tape. I don't want to see it. There was some joking on the show. That's why I'm not going to name the show, because they was going to try to play the portion they could. He said, I don't want to see the tape, and I don't blame him, but I don't want to see it either. But anybody that does want to see it, I make a comparison to, I remember a time, because I'm just old enough to remember this, when the R. Kelly tape was around. And the R. Kelly tape was literally in New York, I say the whole tri-state, and people were selling it. They were selling them for 10, 15, 20. If you had the right neighborhood, you had the right bunch, you could get $30, $40 for it. You understand? I'm dead serious. So people watch that tape. There's dudes out here, listen to me very carefully. There's dudes out here that will talk everything they say about Puff, right? But what if you ask them, did you watch that R. Kelly tape that was out in the streets for a month? It was on, listen, it got so bad. Which our version is now, what we do with streaming and vlogging. At one time, it was with street DVDs. And so you would have all these different guys like Cutmaster C, trying to think who else, Smack DVD. It was a whole bunch of different guys that did the same delivery of the same thing that's going on right now. They did it with the DVDs, and they did it with VHS too at some time. But anyway, they was doing the same thing that we're doing right now. That's the birthplace of actually streaming, in my opinion. These DVDs and everything that people used to do as far as the hip hop and media goes with that. Those are the birthplaces of it. If you don't pay attention and pay recognition to people like that, who else can I name out? Sub-Zero, shout out to Sub-Zero, shout out to Smack, shout out to Cutmaster C, shout out to Fendi. It was those DVDs that put Nicki Minaj on. You know what I'm saying? So this is the fact. You know what I mean? Fendi and his whole movement he had with Cutmaster C, they literally put Nicki Minaj on, and somebody else too from those DVDs. French Montana, Cocaine City, who can forget those? So all those things, those elements that you saw in those DVDs back in the day, that now here as we're streaming, it's the exact same thing to me. So ask guys, when they tell you, they say, oh, well, puppies are worse and da-da-da-da-da. And I mean, depending on what your stream is, and your faux or real moral system, because people got two different moral systems. They got one moral system online, and then they got another moral system offline. So I'd be confused. But proceed. Gucci Man actually put Nicki on. Gucci Man didn't put Nicki on. The way Nicki Minaj got put on, and this is a God honest truth, and that most people they know this. There was DVDs back in the day, and they were by this guy named Cutmaster C and another guy named Fendi. Fendi actually leased out the name Dirty Money for Puff to use it. I think he still gets money off of it. So, or some type of residuals. But these residuals ain't worth shit no more. You get a check for $16. You had a #1 hit. You know what I'm saying? This shit was popping in 2015. Well, it ain't in 2026, motherfucker. But the writing credit should be worth. Nah, not no more. So anyway, long story short, Fendi and all them, they put Nicki Minaj on those DVDs. You understand what I'm saying? You'll see a different Nicki Minaj. That Nicki Minaj wasn't worse. She wasn't better either. She was just her. You know what I'm saying? So the Nicki Minaj y'all see on the DVDs with Cutmaster C and Fendi, those are where Nicki Minaj really got her start. And like I said, this same market that we use now, we call streaming, comes from those DVDs like Cocaine City and Sub-Zero and Smack and all that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know Smack came from making DVDs on 125th Street. This is a fact. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Nicki even said that. That's what's up. Well, her music took off when she jumped on those 1017 mixtapes. Yeah, listen, I know people over 1017. You can't even tell me nothing about that. Listen, you don't know. Did you not hear me? I was in the music business for 17 years, dude. Shout out to, first of all, OG Mac Drama. Then shout out to Dev Acne. Shout out to Waka. Like, I don't know Gucci and none of those guys or whatever, but them I am familiar with. And specifically, Mac Drama, I did radio with him on, what was it called? Blog Talk Radio. That was the first time I'd ever done streaming, was with him. So shout out to OG Mac Drama. He's very easy to pick out. He wears a turban on his head. The 1017 Brick Squad, shout out to all of them. Shout out to Deb, all of them over there. You know what I'm saying? Josh, all of them. I ran with them and their DJ. You can look these up. I mean, it'll come up with his name. Just put my name in behind it. It'll come up. It should be like 17 shows. Like, here's one for you. We were probably the first to interview. I don't want to say it like that. Math Hoffa, you can ask him this. I got Math Hoffa 2 interviews. I got him one with Hot 97.7, I think that's what it's called, and up in Hartford, Connecticut. Shout out to C up there. I know some of the guys up there, so we made that happen. And we interviewed him on our show. Now, that might have been his first interview, but definitely it was one of the worthwhile ones because he had a lot of things going on. There's periods in Math Hoffa's history outside the streaming that he's got history that we know him from, including those same DVDs I mentioned earlier. So that's why I say the genesis of all the stuff that's going on with streaming in the hip hop sector anyway comes from those Cocaine City DVDs and all that. So that's why I said all that. But was she managing Gucci, which is probably, listen, I don't want to get into intricacies because that's not what my conversation is about. Back to Daphne Joy. Daphne Joy, I say like this, right? Daphne Joy did what she did. It's over. What are you going to do? You're going to hop in your time machine and say, let's go back in time and make all this not happen. No, you can't do it. So, like I said before, sometimes, you know, just to put it bluntly, motherfuckers can get your bitch too. It don't matter who you are. Your chick can get taken. I done seen multi-millionaires have problems with their chicks. Y'all done talked about multi-millionaires having problems with their chick. Their chick is cheating. She done ran and found a new, you understand what I'm saying? And then you got to watch the chick that you're dealing with. Is it really love? See, one of the problems when a lot of people get rich, and I hate to say it like this, but it's got to be said like this. If you get rich and you ain't never have chicks before you got rich, you're not going to know how to deal with chicks. This is an honest to God truth. Trust me for this. And if you ain't never made over $100,000 in your life, shut the fuck up talking to me about this conversation. Don't debate it. If you had under $10,000 in your life, that's going to be the girl that loves you. Make no mistake about it. The girl that's with you, and if you could talk to girls or get girls when you're younger, those are the girls you stay with. And often we make the mistake as men, we don't fuck with those girls like that. And that's the girl later on in life you find out you should have stayed with. Sometimes it's okay to date that girl from the projects. Listen to me, hear me out. Sometimes it's okay to go over there and date that girl from the projects. That girl from the projects will appreciate you more than the girl that's used to Birkin bags. Now, they could be one and the same sometimes. They could be a chick from the project that likes Birkin bags. You want to avoid them too. But for the men, Y'all got to start paying attention and learn from this 50 Cent, Daphne Joy, and Diddy thing. There's a bigger message here. That's what the people don't put out. They put out the gossip. The bigger message is here, you got to watch the women that you're picking. There's some good women out here. I got 2 sisters. I would never say anything else. But it don't matter what race they are nowadays. Some of these chicks are under the spell of Eve. Okay? They're under the spell of Eve. And some of the men, they're under the spell of the demons or whatever may exist in their life too. But a lot of girls nowadays are not your traditional women. And I think what a lot of you guys are doing is you're trying to equate it and enter the situation like this is auntie, this is your mom's, this is your sister. These ain't those chicks. If you like those chicks, you need to find chicks that are in those circles of those women that you like. That's the only way you can avoid it. And sometimes they might get fooled. Girls, they get into all, I got 2 sisters. Girls get into all kinds of shit. Oh, my mama. All kinds of shit. Shit you wouldn't even think of. You be like, y'all arguing over that? Fuck that bitch. I done been through it all. You understand what I'm saying? I smacked shit out that bitch. We all been through it. These girls nowadays, they want your money. A lot of them, it is what it is. Money was the sole improviser in this situation. From the time she met 50 Cent, 50 got to admit that to himself. Yes, she's a pretty girl, but sometimes pretty girls are the worst. Sometimes a pretty, listen, y'all done seen the pictures I done shown y'all. When I was working those record companies, son, I've been everywhere. Met all kinds of chicks, model chicks, all that shit. And the one thing I can say about all of them, they all had the same vibe to them. It was greed. See, when you round money in the music industry, you can start. Anybody in the music industry is in on this chat right now, answer this. If you're around real money, I'm talking about millionaires, you'll start to feel certain type of vibes of who's here, why they there, who are they trying to talk to really, or they trying to breeze through you, they really trying to talk to somebody else. So say you the plug, right? You the plug to get in the event, but really they trying to get in the event so they can talk to your boss. That's the play. So you get girls like this, and these girls, they used to come in the form of, I'm gonna say in Daphne Joy's days, Melissa Ford's days too. They came in a form different. Back then, the girls were a little bit more classy, if you ask me. The girls back then, let me explain what I mean. Agreed, they could definitely be one and the same. I usually depends on the individual, yep. Don't say I'm the plug, say you the plug. You stupid. Anyway, listen. Sometimes, with the girls back in the day, okay, and the girls that I've shown y'all, I done shown y'all L'Oreal. That was the girl that interviewed Michael B. Jordan or whatever. L'Oreal used to mess with Red Cafe. And so Red Cafe used to be signed to us. He was one of Puff's things like, kind of like Cocaine City was with French Montana. Red Cafe, he took off a little bit, you know what I'm saying, more than he did, but he's the same thing. He comes from the mixtapes and DVDs. He took off, but L'Oreal was one of his artists. That's how I was around L'Oreal. And those pictures are taken in Miami at the Cleveland there, she asked you. And then his Hottest in the Hood, I think that was the name of the song, Hottest in the Hood. That was his video, her whole weekend basically. Outside of going to Dream, Fountain Blue, and where else did we went to Dream, Fountain Blue. And it was a movie we went to too. I forgot what the other one was called, but it was another one. But shout out to L'Oreal, everything she's doing or whatever. But the girls back then, and Daphne Joy's times, if you want to say, the girls back there, they were different. And what I mean is their approach was a little bit different. Now they were still doing the same thing. They were trying to be sexy and everything like that, right? But the girls were, they had the hustle. That's what I want to say. They had the hustle. Like, I'll give you an example. The girls back then, and I'm not talking about a long time ago, I'm talking about like 2013, 15. So this under 10 years ago. The girls back then, when they were doing the modeling and everything like that, the girls would hustle to get linked with the players, linked with the artists, whatever. So they hopping on the plane, they sharing 6 in a hotel room. You understand what I'm saying? We gonna get this money. And if one girl out of the 6 girls met a ball player, then it was a good weekend. It was all worth it. You understand? Now the girls will just get on, they're jumping, they'll jump on, take a picture of themselves naked, and hope everything work out for $5.99 a month. We got to get into the psychology of why actually Daphne Joy exists. And that's what y'all not willing to do. Y'all want to do the surface talk. Oh my God, and the particulars. Well, and I think that Well, everybody has an opinion on this thing. You understand? And I understand what some of y'all are saying, but at the same time, we have to look at the psychology behind why these girls are doing what they're doing. I'll repeat to you again. In now times, Bad Baby chose at 18 years old, instead of going to college, instead of going to get a degree, I'm going to get a BBL, get breast augmentation, form myself to try to look like a Latina, even though I'm Italian, kind of close, but still the same thing. Fact is fact. You understand what I'm saying? And the big one on top of all, love it on the cherry, is she did all this at 18. She had this planned out at 18. Now, that you think she's the only one? Go watch Fresh and Fit for like a month. Just watch all the reruns and everything. Dedicate 4 hours to it. All them girls are in Miami, and they come from different parts of the country. And all I'm gonna say, without saying that, I came down here to trick. I came down here to trick. I came down here to get my OnlyFans started. It's the truth. There are more girls in the sex market that you guys are taking account for, and we need to start taking account for, because there's a lot of things that come out these sex markets, whether they're touching somebody or not. The fact is, Daphne Joy was in the sex market, and so was Cassie. They got off on it. They liked it. And I'm not saying that they wasn't abused. I'm not saying anything specific like that. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I do know is there's a market of girls that are susceptible to this. Now, what I know, Daphne Joy from the trial was still getting an apartment paid for by Puff for 10 grand a month, right? 10 grand a month. That says a lot. That says that you're used to being a kept woman. A kept woman. I know the term very well. A kept woman. A kept woman, it's a great woman to have, but if all things go fail, the kept woman is gone. The kept woman is gone. A lot of Caribbean men, foreign men fall victim to this all the time. You know, you get some pretty ass chick from Grenada, Virgin Islands or something. Someone come fun. What you say? I ain't fucking with you. I want to come fun. You understand? Next thing you know, you got a wife. She stayed with you for about 2-3 years. You understand? She eat it out. You feel me? Now she dating some dude that's Stedman side. You know what I'm saying? On her. Another bum begging for money on YouTube. That's funny. That's hilarious. I ain't said nothing about my Cash App, but since you were so concerned about other men, Cash App $STRINGERBELL80. That's the black police right there. The black police, they make sure they go on everybody's page that look like them, and they tell people don't donate to them. So that's the black police right there. Y'all say shout out to the black police. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. Let's get him up out of here. That's the black police. Anyway, back to the story. Long story short, this is a sex market. And how can I say it? The perimeters that used to be with some type of modesty and things like that, they don't exist anymore. They don't. I just read an article that blew my mind. There were 1.3 million abortions last year, which margin up to 25% of women that were pregnant gave an abortion. That wiped 25. Now, I don't care what part of the spectrum you're on. What I'm saying is women's behaviors are changing. Now, some of those girls, yeah, I'm sure they got sexually assaulted, terrible things happen to them. We don't want to mock them or anything like that. That's not the point. My point is there's many women that were in those numbers that wasn't. And I don't know why a lot of women don't see the reality that there's a lot of girls out here that use abortion as birth control. They do. It's a lot of girls that do it. It's noted. I mean, they have demographics on this that are available. It's not like I'm making it up. I'm sure some women, if not many women, will agree with the same. It's been done like that for a very long time. So I'm just saying, the sexual perimeters that women used to have, the modesty that a lot of women used to have, collectively, they don't have that. They don't have the prohibitors to say, I'm not going to do sex work because that doesn't stick well with my family and my mom. A lot of times her mama doing it too. Oh, y'all know y'all got some 37-year-old grandmas out here, 45-year-old great-grandmamas. Daphne Joy was part of the sex system. A sex system that ultimately said, unlike other women, that yes, you can pay for me. If you pay for me and you provide for me, I'll bust down and do whatever you want to. And I'm telling you, men, stop lusting after chicks like this. I'm trying to tell you. I'm older, but I ain't that old. And I'm trying to tell y'all, listen to me very well. I done had some beautiful women in my lifetime. Beautiful. I done shown y'all pictures of them. And I'm trying to tell you, no matter what race they were, there's a certain genome and certain type of women that just makes them lustful, greedy, or whatever. I like to call it the Eve or Lilith gene. And it usually comes from women that come from poverty. That's one thing that's uniquely ubiquitous about all of it. Women from poverty have a different type of greed. Now, this ain't contested with just Latin women or black women. Now, this is contested with any country you go to in the world. You go over to Laos or Thailand or whatever, you're going to have to pay for her whole family if you want to marry her. You're going to have to pay a dowry. Please believe that. So make no mistake about it. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to be paying a couple dollars for what you want, either way it go. United States foreign or whatever. You see what I'm dealing with? Pure fuckery, I say on you. Pick me in him. Listen, you got to be a little bit smarter. And this goes for Puff or anybody else on the women, especially for Puff. Fuck that. When you get out, don't have no women around you that you don't trust. I'm seeing stories of men. I saw another story of a man getting taken out of here just recently by a woman, and she was sentenced to 45 years. She stabbed him up. I saw another story where a woman threw a stick of dynamite on a nigga while he was asleep and blew his hand off. This is, I honest to God, telling you the truth. I've seen another story just recently where they had to take down some woman in a parking lot or whatever. And these are all various different races of women, so it's not condensed to this one. This in general, people's attitudes, people's emotions, and radical thinking nowadays, and this personability that they have online and they try to introduce it offline in society, it ain't matching up. Who you are online ain't who you are offline, motherfucker, in most cases. I think I've proven that several times now. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I'm saying to you guys is, when it comes to Daphne Joy, my opinion on it is, she was a victim of the game. There's been other women that have been victim of the game. And so we need to start paying attention to those women. See, Cassie made off for $30 million. Whatever happened to her, she made off for $30 million. And she said that $30 million was more important than any other adjudication that could happen in the law, as far as I know right now. But she took the $30 million, okay? Make no mistake about it. She took that before the trial was over or it even commenced. So I want to highlight that too. She took the $30 million before the trial even commenced. Understand what I'm saying? So money was more important to her, once again. So you're missing what I'm saying, huh? All right, let me break this out for you. If you are concerned with adjudication, then your number one option and your first option would be, how much jail time can we get? I'm pulling out my charger, y'all, if y'all wonder what I'm doing. How much time can we get this person for what they did to me, if you were concerned about adjudication? Now, there was two women down there, you could say, that were concerned about adjudication, it seemed like to me. But the rest of the giddy up down there was more concerned with her. Like when they came down, I was down there at that trial. So when Cassie came through, Alex Fine came through, I got Alex Fine on camera, whatever. They were treating them like they were superstars. And I was like, this is not superstar shit. No, this is not superstar shit. This is hood shit. It was like a concert down there. I swear to God, it was like a concert. And so you had a lot of different characters down there from different types of perspective, but most of the people down there were all uniquely entwined, and he's guilty. And he wasn't guilty of the things he was guilty of or whatever, but they never, in my opinion, they never asked the question or asked the question, well, what did the girls do? You know, we never put that under them. Was it? What about the girls? Now, like I said again, a lot of girls out here doing OnlyFans nowadays. The numbers are crazy, and most of them only charge like, what, $5.99 a month or whatever. This stays with them for life. For life. After you have kids grown up or whatever, they go to Pornhub. Yo, I see your mama. You don't know that? People be like ripping these videos and putting them out. Fellas, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't shit be in front of you, man. Be on Pornhub, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm joking, but seriously. And people rip the videos and they put them up on sites. Literally. You understand? So Even though you charge a $5.99 a month, that $5.99 a month ain't gonna last no longer than your flow of your videos start popping up on different links. It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like now dudes is going to that link. What she got for free now? But you charge a $5.99 a month. You gotta understand, ladies, going to OnlyFans, in my opinion, ain't the move for you if you plan on being a wife or something like that. Now, if you ain't planning on being a wife and you just want to thug it out throughout life, you understand what I'm saying? Good for you and your future cats and that dusty vajay you gonna have. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to be a spinster, that's your business. But what I'm only saying is, these girls that are doing the sex work, I think that women, it's fine time that y'all need to start speaking up on this. Women are being encouraged to do sex work and even highlighting sex work without even questioning the fact, even though Daphne Joy, in whatever regards or whatever side of the spectrum y'all want to say, oh, well, she was abused or whatever, which wasn't proven, but I'll go along with it. The fact is, she was there for the buck. She was there for the money. She would not have done all that, I'm assuming, with a broke man. You think she would have did that with a man that worked at McDonald's? You think Daphne Joy would have busted down for a UPS worker like that? Huh? Now, that's something, if you a good-looking dude, you can finesse some shit, but you ain't finessing one every weekend, paying for the hotel. Hey, fly out to Paris, I'm out here. Fly out to New York, it's on me. Nah, it ain't happening like that. You got to have some bread to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Just for example, to get a first class ticket from LA to New York is gonna probably cost you probably about, if you just doing a basic upgrade, probably like $800. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to get there, you know what I mean? Sweet. You know what I'm saying? Had a little cube and all that. But other than that, dog, a broke man is not doing that. So these are rich men, real rich men, not pretend rich, real rich men that are flying these women out or whatever. How many people have heard the term, I'm getting flown out? Are we to end that now? We need to end that because that's promoting prostitution. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to put something on y'all. It's going to bother y'all, but it's got to be said. One of the people, there's many, let me explain what I'm saying. There's a lot of older women out here now that are online that promote debauchery, promote bad behavior, and these are women that are supposed to be respected. And one of these women that I point out, and I've been pointing out, and I'm gonna keep pointing out, a lot of people ain't gonna like it, a lot of people are gonna disagree, is Angela Yee. Angela Yee, every time that, see, if you're an older chick, you should know better. Like, the older chicks are promoting to the younger chicks, jump on OnlyFans. The older chicks are promoting to the younger chicks, it's okay to trick for a couple of dollars in Miami. The older chicks now are the same chicks that had babies when they was 12, 13, 14 years old, and we was at school, them little fast-ass chicks. This is them grown up, and this is their offspring. And you got to, and I'm talking about, listen, they had a show called 16 and Pregnant that ran for 10 consecutive seasons on MTV. Wasn't never a nigga on there, period. I think they had one mixed girl on there. Every last person, so it goes through all demographics. So some people, they want to pay attention to it, some people don't. I pay attention to it. I worked in marketing for most of y'all, if y'all didn't know, at Bad Boy, and that's what we pay attention to, demographics and numbers. So specifically, the numbers don't differentiate too much. It's small percentages depending on the population sizes. But the fact is, you're dealing with 42-year-old, I won't say 42-year-old, 45-year-old great-grandmothers, 35, 34-year-old grandmothers nowadays. This is why the dating spectrum is like that. Listen, you take this back 2 decades, you weren't dating no chick that was 13 at the time and got pregnant. It was unheard of. It was unheard of. You go back to the 50s and the 40s. She's an unwed mother, shame on her. There's no shame. So in a regular world, you would be shaming Daphne Joy. But in this world that we created since, I don't know, after the pandemic or something, like everybody hit reset. It was some weird shit going on out here. But I know this is abnormal. And it's abnormal for girls to be on OnlyFans, and that's their aspirations, and they're 18. They bad baby. It's irregular. We have normalized the abnormal. That's what I'm saying. And you know, I got a theory for this. I think I don't think it was Barack Obama's idea, but I think he ushered it in, because I saw those years when he was in his constituency. Hold on 1 second. I saw those years when he was in his constituency that a lot of things were being promoted. And I'm not saying any of them were right or wrong, but one of the things that was being promoted the heaviest was this woke stuff. Now, whether you agree with the woke stuff or whatever, it translated for me into like some Aleister Crowley type shit. And I'll tell you what I mean. There's a term that Aleister Crowley had. There was a trope. It was called do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt is an example of what's happening in society nowadays. You've got people saying, I have the right to do this. I have the right to be like this. I have the right to be like that. I have the right to do this. I have the right to do that. And since they feel like that, they subsequently continuously act in a certain way and posture, all right? And a certain way and posture usually concerns with, I can approach you, I can say, I can do what I want to, and there's no ramifications, no moral stability, and no moral accountability. And for some people, that's how they live life, that's how they grow up, and you have to accept that. This is usually, once again, I reflect back to 13, 14, 15-year-old mothers that are now 34-year-old grandmothers and 47-year-old great-grandmothers. Now, any way you want to look at it, whatever, if you're over 35, 40, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You grew up in this country. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Daphne Joy comes from a group of girls at the time, and a lot of people don't understand. How many people remember Cat Stacks? Anybody remember Cat Stacks? Cuban girl. She used to be getting everybody. Cat Stacks. She comes from the early days of, well, not the early days, the late days of Facebook. I mean, not Facebook. What was it called? MySpace. She comes from the late days of that. But Cat Stacks, at the time, she stood out, and I think it was on, what was that website? WorldStar, which is still up. But she was one of the champs over at WorldStar, because she was out here and she was getting men. She was robbing them. She was taking money from them or whatever. And that's when I saw the pivot of the nasty girl was now accepted, because people were cheering her on. They had one video where she supposedly caught Soulja Boy with cocaine, and she tried to show it on the camera at the time or whatever. Nobody really believed it, but the point was she put him out there like that. You understand what I'm saying? So there's multitudes of girls that will do this to you nowadays. There was a girl I just caught this news story on her in Miami. She had went home with some dude, I guess he was a local dude, had a couple stacks on him. Dude got $60,000 taken away from him. You've seen these sites nowadays that what is it? Hinge and a couple of other ones. You go on there nowadays, you go meet up with the chick, you might get kidnapped. I'm dead serious, you know? So psychologically, people have altered and now are living their fantasies or whims or whatever the case they may have online, offline. And that's the segue that a lot of people are missing. These girls are learning from these other girls online. It's okay to strip. It's okay to be an OnlyFans model. It's okay to do this, bust down or whatever. And every last one of these vindications that you have, or you think in the courts or whatever that's adjudicated, you're thinking in the back of your mind, oh, now we're justified. Oh, now it's okay. Oh, now it's all right. It's not all right and it's not okay. It's not all right and it's not okay. In fact, it promotes it even more. That's why I brought up Angela Yee. I saw yesterday where Angela Yee had put up a post, and the post she put up, a headline, Daphne Joy shocks the world, and she now has an OnlyFans. Why the fuck are you promoting it? Why the fuck are you promoting? You could have did the whole article without mentioning her OnlyFans. So you see what I'm saying? Even though you might not, it's so subliminal now, and it's so regular to do. Even if that's not the intent, that's what they do. They promote debauchery. I'm trying to put you on what I'm saying. And the men accept it, because what man is not going to like sex? It's simple to figure out. This is an old profession since Mary Magdalene. So what man is not going to like sex or sexual innuendos or sexual teases or whatever the case may be? It's natural. But the men now are being used as they once was for that same crime and that same sin that we have embedded in us for some reason or whatever the case may be. It's a sin, lusting, but all man has it in him. Now, Angela Yee wrote this piece, and not only at the beginning paragraph, but in the headline, it talked about Daphne Joy's OnlyFans. And I'm like, why is this the topic? Why is this even a topic? Why are we promoting women's, like, listen, I'm all with respecting women and all that. But my point is this. Why are we promoting women's OnlyFans and you're a top media mogul? It shouldn't even be in the conversation is what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? Now people are going to go look, where can I find Deputy Joy's OnlyFans so I can contribute my funds to it too? And now you got the simp market coming in. Now the simp market is one of the most dangerous markets out there. Y'all ain't know? The simp market promotes half this shit with their dollars. The simp market. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say the simp market. The simp market is the market of men. They see a woman online and she got a little bit of leg out and they're like, oh my God, baby, you the simp market is the motherfucker that been in your inbox for the past year talking about, good morning, sunshine. Good morning, beautiful. And this motherfucker been doing this for a year. You'd have had him on idle the whole time and he still don't get it. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, beautiful. Merry Christmas. Happy birthday. Nigga, the bitch won't you leave alone. I'm sorry. Leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Trust me, ladies, I know what y'all talking about. I done seen it. I done have family members go through it. I got some pretty female cousins, and I'm trying to tell you, I know what y'all talking about right there. When y'all have these motherfuckers that been in your inbox for a year talking about, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, sunshine, for a year. You still ain't replied to it. You know, this is how it goes. Somehow or another, I'll bring it to this conclusion for you. You're going to have to eventually understand that the market is different, fellas. The stakes are different, fellas. When you're talking to a lot of women nowadays, they have a lot of other things on their mind, and it ain't sunshine, it ain't, you know, smiling with you, it ain't loving you forever, it's not being at one with you, it's not holding you and caressing you and being in love with you. Nah, bitch nowadays want to get you at about an 80% rate. So you got to be prepared. And I don't think Puff was prepared, because having you dice the story with him and Cassie, you always have to leave in this element that I always mention. Cassie was cheating with a man inside Puff's house. I will not leave that out of the equation. So when we promote stories and we say, oh, well, you know, that person's a victim that walked away with $30 million and now they live in foreign, okay, cool. Okay, cool. I can live with that. She moved out of the country. All right, cool. Now, what about all the other stories that are false? All the other stories that don't hold no weight. How come we don't talk about the stories that get adjudicated and get removed out of the courtroom and they happen to be civil lawsuits or whatever, gets various different men? The 4 men that I was mentioning before, the 4 brothers that are Russian, I'm going to carry this on later on for y'all. The 4 brothers that were Russian, they got caught in New York and they still got to return back to New York. They were real estate guys. They just got convicted down in Miami for taking advantage of women, putting shit in their drink and all kinds of shit. It's real sucker shit. You know what I mean? So they just got convicted. Now, I think they got convicted to long term. So even if they come back to New York and get fully adjudicated or whatever the case may be, they still out of luck. You understand? So nobody highlighted their story. And I noticed every time, like, it was subsequential that I point that out, because they got convicted, I believe it was on Friday, down in Miami. Monday, Saturday, Sunday, usually they'll slow down the news cycle for a minute. Then Monday, it'll pick back up. This has not been mentioned at all, that these four brothers got convicted of sexual assault. We have the other gentleman that we haven't mentioned in a very long time that was actually on a mental health warrant, which is, I think he was a CEO or something like that, formerly at Abercrombie & Fitch. I used to wear Abercrombie & Fitch a lot. This guy, he's got a mental health stay on him, and I'm not sure how long it's for, but it's for a while. It's for quite a while. And they're going to do that to evaluate him to see if he can stand trial. You understand? Now, why is it that he got that? He got a bond, he got a nice little wrist bracelet, and everything else, because he's an old man. You was an old man when you was taking advantage of them boys. Huh? Harvey Weinstein was an old man when he was taking advantage of them girls. Harvey Weinstein actually had a mistrial. And now they're preparing in New York for his new trial, on top of the mistrial that they already had. So he had 2 mistrials. What's not to convict the Harvey Weinstein? We got videos of Harvey Weinstein trying to take the J, but we stole it out. There is, and I'm not saying there's a racial element to it, there's a class element to it. Because if they don't have the class element, see, a lot of y'all think it's racial element. It's not racial element. I was in the music industry, trust me. It's a social, economic element to it. The social economic element does have racism implied in it, but not really. It's meaning protecting the group. You understand what I'm saying? So it makes no sense to put out at the extreme what the files may say about Harvey Weinstein to the public. It makes no sense to put out what happened with what's this guy's name? The Epstein guy. It makes no sense to put that out to the public because the circles that he was around, it will now reflect them and they will question them. So the whole key to the story is protect the fucking kings. Oh, no. It's no racial element in that. Y'all get mistaken by that. It's a social economic element to it. Now, I was around the music industry for 17 years. I've been around all kinds of people that had real fucking bread. And those guys, I've never seen none of them. This is my personal experience. I've never seen none of them sacrifice a goat. I've never seen nobody pray to Baphomet. You understand what I'm saying? This is real talk. And I've been in numerous videos. I'm in a Woe video for Black Rob, RP to Black Rob. I'm about to pay homage to Black Rob with my new song. I want to go ahead and promote that real quick. I'm going to pay you some real homage to Black Rob with my new song. It should be released here shortly. I'm gonna try to make a comeback real quick, see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Just for shits and giggles. But I've never seen anybody in the music industry do any of these things that people kind of like reference and say or whatever the case may be. And I think that sooner or later, y'all are going to start seeing the same thing. You're going to start seeing that more and more of these stories are untrue. More and more of these stories have more depth to them that people will admit. And that's the biggest part of it. They have a lot more depth to them. And a lot of you guys, it's a situation of you had to be there. And if you wasn't there, you're not going to know in totality. A lot of these people that have conversations about this whole topic, they weren't even born when many of these things were going on in 2004, 2005, 2006. You understand? Which makes up that demographic I was mentioning earlier. Or 13, 14, and 15-year-old mothers at one time, nationwide, of all different ethnicities. I think, honestly and truthfully, I think that somehow or another, some of the girls are going to start realizing that there's a lot of girls out here that don't have the potentiality to move further in their life other than doing some sexual innuendo for work, you know? And whether you see it on Fresh and Fit, whether you see it on whoever's page, with these girls being interviewed, it's clear to understand this is what's going on. I don't want my daughter, I don't have no kids with me, but I don't want my daughter, if I have a daughter or I have a son, I don't want my daughter being influenced by these girls. Because see, you can't control what goes on in some people's homes. So I can't say to you, hey, can you do me a favor? Because it might start a bigger problem. Y'all ain't seen lately, they having fights at the graduations now. They fighting at the graduations. I swear to God, I've seen like 5 different videos with them fighting at the graduation, including my own state in Bridgeport. Bridgeport, y'all chill out. It was girls too. It was a girl, but they was fighting at the graduation. I said, oh shit, son of a bitch. I seen another one with a white woman. She threw this woman's phone, the woman knocked the clean out. So, you know, evidently there's a lot of temperament nowadays outside of society where people believe that they're narcissists. I don't know if I want to say narcissism is the key, but I definitely would say vanity-driven personalities. From online, they try to reflect them offline, and it always is gonna collide every time. You understand? This is a fact. It's gonna collide every time. You can't live your personality you have online or offline. And so I'll say this to you guys. I've been doing this for a long time now, and I've seen a million different stories come up with different individuals, and they'll say this person's this person's that, this person's this, from, I hate to say it, hip-hop media. There's a lot of lying going on. There's a lot of misquoting posts. Somebody posted something the other day and said, Cardi B admits that she never loved Offset. I clicked the video, and it's a video about her talking about getting the baby together for Christmas. So now and see, it'll attract people. People will go to it. They'll click it, whether they like it or not. You spend 30 seconds on there, I got you. Yeah, that goes to my monetary for the month. You understand? That's my gift for the month. What do I think about, and I want to say this positively, about bad boys. Somebody asked me the other day, And I thought it was a good question because it was somebody actually from Bad Boy that asked me. And just to be more specific, I talked about this on my birthday, but they asked me this on my birthday, and I brought up the question, and everybody in the room agreed with me, including, you know, people that were former staff and those that wasn't. And the question was, the question remained was, I want to say this the right way. The question that was raised was, do you think that Bad Boy Entertainment could come back? Yeah, I do. I think the comeback is already launched. It took some planning, but it worked. It worked. So I'm Stringer Bell, man. Remember who that character was. That's not why we took our names. That's not why we took our names. A lot of people like to have literal translations about things that don't require literal translations. It's a sentiment, not the translation. Anyway, do I think Bad Boy can come back? Absolutely, I think they can come back. Will they come back? I absolutely think it will come back. I'm gonna try to attribute what I can to it. Somebody also asked me what's up with French. I don't know what's up with French as far as Bad Boy. I don't know if his contract was over. That's something y'all have to ask French about. I don't know the intricacies because French, from what I know, had two deals. He had one for Cocaine City or whatever his music input was, and then he had another one for him as an artist, I believe, or it might have been inclusive within that. I don't know the intricacies. So for that part, I can't answer you guys. You know, if I you know, and I really don't. It's not something I really want to look into, if that makes any sense, because it's back to what I was saying before. It's like people are digging for information that shouldn't even be available or whatever. That's why I brought up this thing about Cassie. I'm like, you had to do some digging to really, and I want people to reflect on that. You had to do some digging to really go that intricate into getting that information. That information is not something, I want y'all to understand this, that information is not something that's just floating around. You understand what I'm saying? This is information that you have to go look up. You have to go look it up. And you have to be very intrinsic on how you look it up. And it's intricate. It's like you're going to one site to find one thing, and then you're going to another site to find another, or whatever. So somebody that's digging this deep is somebody that this is what they do for a living. They pry in people's lives. So somebody made a reference to China in here about surveillance or whatever. You can't watch. You know, there's no way to avoid it. We are now almost in a liking of what Chinese society has been for the better part of like maybe 13, 14 years, which is it's a monitored society. More monitored than we are. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, you know, you go whatever space or whatever between a couple of feet here in America, there's going to be a camera, whether it's operating for a business, whether it's operating personal, and in some cases operating for the police departments. So either way it goes, you're being monitored. But the system they have set up in China is quite different. The system they have set up in China, it goes along with social credits, and it goes along with also a whole bunch of infrared technology, things like that, or whatever, reports, tickets, anything. They can dock down your social credits. Your social credits, they'll now enable you to be able to travel, be able to go to certain restaurants, things like that, or whatever. If that was implemented here in the United States, they'll tear this country apart. They'll tear this country apart. I'll say it again for you. If that was to happen here in the United States and you had the implementation of social credits put into the scenario, they definitely would. You're thinking about January 6th. It would be something like January 6 times 5, you know? Let me roll 100. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. I appreciate that donation. If you had social credits implemented into society, I really truthfully do believe that. So yeah, I agree with you on that one, man. It would be a tragedy. Y'all give me 1 second. I've got some black people that don't have any respect for anybody, so I have to move. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. This happens. They can't help themselves. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just move. I'm gonna let her talk as loud as she needs to talk. The sisters. All right, I'm back, guys. Yeah, you're not gonna be my camera. That happens a lot. A lot of, for the interruption, a lot of black people, they get off on trying to like insult other black people. So it was obvious I was sitting there talking to the camera, and she just had to come up and start talking as loud as she possibly could. So it happens. So sorry for the interruption. Back to the social credits. The social credit system, like I said, if you just look it up right now, what you'll find is it's very similar to what's going on right now. So for example, here in the state of Connecticut, one of the things that we have is we actually have video cameras on the highway. Now they put this system up probably, I'm going to say probably 13, 14 years ago. With that system, they're able to mail you a ticket if they find you like speeding, whatever the case may be. So they're able to do that. So that's one example of how it kind of mirrors China's system that they've already had in place. God, I say for the better part of maybe 15 years now. So it's not something that's been sudden. It's something that's implemented slowly. I think we're going cashless. I think that's going to happen. I think the worst thing about going cashless is now you're going to have money that you can't trace. And this might be, I mean, listen, they just caught a guy in the Senate, and I think he sold something like millions of dollars in bars or something like that. I mean, this is not like made up. You know what I mean? Everybody's having a piece at this. So it's not like you can even point to a certain category of people, whatever the case may be, and say, okay, well, it's this group or it's this demographic. It's this. No, it's all demographics. Everybody's, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm not going this I'm not going to go flat earth theory, which I'm just answering somebody's question. I do flat earth theories and things like that, but I will say there's definitely some similarities with the Chinese social credit system and kind of slowly what's being rolled out here. I will admit that. I kind of like see it myself, and we're just all totally under a whole state that is just like monitored. You know what I mean? So it's like scary to think about, but it's true. It's absolutely true. So I'm gonna answer your question, man. Anyway, give me a second, guys. Now, as quick as I told y'all that. See, well, let me explain something to y'all. A lot of people don't understand this. In every single, Coach, how you doing? In every single, they're closed, man. Oh, no, they're not. I was just going to the store. In every single, and I mean every single one, give me a second, guys. I'm moving and sitting down. In every single culture I can think of, like I said, for the most part of my whole life, I've lived in Connecticut. And most of the time it's been shoreline. So this is the first time I haven't been around fucking water, like I usually am. I'll explain this to you. If you have people that are so far gone and they're not, all right, let me take it, because I don't like to insult people. There was a report out and it said that people are less educated than they ever were in the entire history of the last 50 years. That means that people are dumbing down, and from one point they were smart and intelligent, and now they're becoming less and less and less intelligent and referring on truths instead of how they feel. I mean, instead of putting on truths, instead of truths, what they now do is they kind of like rally on how I feel. And they'll start out the conversation like that. Well, I feel like, you ever heard somebody start a conversation like that? Well, I feel like, and I'm like, oh shit, where is this going? You know what I mean? Because it's actually just a reflection of how you personally feel. It doesn't translate into, okay, this is actually reality. This translates into how you feel. That's it. How you feel. And a lot of people take the notion of how you feel and they roll it out like a carpet. They run around and they pry it to other people, promote it to other people. This is how I feel. And it stands sometimes to be permanent with people. And that's what happened this year recently when you saw what happened with, I believe, Cassie's situation and Daphne's situation, where you have a whole crowd and audience that's just talking about how they feel. But what are the intricacies and what are the specifics? The specifics are all the stuff that you said that he was going to get convicted of, he actually didn't get convicted of. All the things that you said he was guilty of, he wasn't guilty of. So when you look at that and you put that in the measure, what do you do then? Do you stick with the narrative? Hey, you know what? I feel like, you see how that conversation starts? I feel like, no, it's not how you feel like, it's what's reality. And that's the problem with online right now. People are able to voice their opinions from these free accounts and say whatever they want to say, or whatever, whether it has any truth or bearing to it or whether not. They're able to say it, and they're able to say it freely, and they're able to gather others. So you get one comment, and that comment can be a complete lie. I've seen this trend. You get one comment, and that comment can be a complete lie, right? But if you've got 1,500 people, let's say, 15K, and they like that comment, and they agree with that comment, that lie now becomes the truth because the people saw 1.5K people like it, not ever taking the notion that this is 1.5K idiots. This is 1.5K people that didn't graduate high school. This is 1.5K people that didn't graduate collegiate institution. This is 1.5K people who never worked any extremity outside of motherfucking McDonald's. And this is the people that you're putting your trust into. You trust this guy? What has he ever done for him to prove himself trustworthy? As far as a go-to source for information. Simple as that. You have to watch the credited people that you give that are many times wrong about things and give them credit for being, oh, that's the person I believe in. No, that person is the culmination of what his knowledge has been thus far through life. That's all we are, all of us. Most of the people that you find as greats and legends and everything like that is because of cumulative information. You put the cumulative that's what I'm for. I still whatever passion really is the era you want to say of which we are inside. Most of the people nowadays know many people. So see pulse and they'll go along with it. And for the past 5 years, I've seen the same thing streaming here. I've had videos, as many of you know, that got millions of views. I've got videos that are silly subjects, and then I got serious subjects that they won't even break 3,000. You see what I'm saying? I took people to where Malcolm shot and killed, literally stood in the spot because they haven't designated down and locked down. I had a chill guy that was part of his family. And that live I did it twice. That live, the first time, only got about 400 views. The second time I did it, which was with the tour guide of the place, it did I think it was 3,000 and some change, which is very low for a video of that caliber. And that's the numbers it did. It did low numbers. I threw up something about Cardi B. That one got, I think it's moving on 2.3 million views now. See what I'm saying? So the attentive space that people have or lack of having nowadays is the problem what it is. People are tentative to gossip. People are tentative to talking down about somebody. And people are especially tentative, I don't know why it is, to bashing men in general. I thought it was this one group of men that were getting bashed by misandrists or, ultra extreme feminists or whatever. No, it's a multitude of men from different backgrounds or whatever. I'm looking at different culture, because I do demographics by culture a lot of times. Culture you believe in, what your faith is or whatever, can determine whether or not you get married, don't get married, or whatever the case may be. I'll give you a quick example. Latino culture very much emulates family. You understand what I'm saying? This is why most motherfuckers have a baby by 17. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it real. You know what I mean? But it's the truth. And so with that being said, you have other families, like I'll give you an example, white families nowadays, they're women. You know what's funny? Let me point this out. White women did before what black women are doing now and other women are doing, but white women were the basis for it. Let me tell you why I say this. The white population, based on the demographics, not how I feel, based on the demographics, the white population is decreasing because of lack of procreation. This is what it's said. Women choose a career over procreation or whatever, which we all know the end game of that. This is a Shire math, you know what I mean, the end, you know what I mean? Thank you for that like, I appreciate it. Guys, make sure you double tap the screen and hit the like button. So this is always a set for destruction. Well, the same thing is happening within black culture now. Women are picking, I guess if you want to say, career or whatever. I'm not really concerned about that because I think it's a way, just like a man can, you can maintain both. You understand what I'm saying? There's many different families out here for years that the mom and dad worked. I think the family unit thing is the more important thing here, and it's being separated. I'm seeing girls on these podcasts that are 20 years old talking about, I don't ever want to get married. I'm just out here having fun. And that's a direction. And it's usually influenced by older hoes. I'm going to say it how it is. Older hoes. Older hoes online with a free account are a problem. You get some old Betty that been swinging vajays since she was 19 and now she's 47 and now she's the #1 podcaster for your daughter. Oh, that's a recipe for destruction. So older women out here, I want y'all to start checking some of these older hoes. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Your auntie would have referred to them as that. Your grandma would have referred to them as that. Just 20 years ago, collectively as a society, we would refer to the hoes versus the ladies. Now, me personally, if I have a daughter, I don't want no older hoe secretly influencing. And I don't think you guys should either. And when I say older hoes, I'm talking about women out here 47 years old with it all hanging out. Now, mind you, this chick got 2 kids and a husband that she hides on a page, so you think she by herself. And then below it is a link that you can click for her OnlyFans. You understand? When she do light material, but her husband allow her to do it. Oh, there's a whole bunch of these sucker niggas up here. Y'all don't talk about them? Y'all don't talk about them? Y'all talking about pup, but y'all don't talk about them. If we're going to talk about a subject that has to do with sexual assault, women being harassed or whatever, we got to cover the whole thing, not just a spectrum in the little corner in the crevice that you want to cover, but cover it all. Or I'm starting to believe y'all don't believe in the shit what y'all say about women so much as y'all say y'all do. It's very selective. Meg Thee Stallion just came out this recently. I don't know if y'all heard this or not. Give me a second. Let me let this go real second. Meg Thee Stallion, after being, there we go. Meg Thee Stallion just recently, I don't know if y'all heard it or not, did a song, and they got an excerpt of it. I'll pop it up later. But anyway, she says, forget all that marriage and all this. I ain't trying to get a ring, whatever, whatever. Do you know this raggedy bitch? I don't like her. And I have no harboring in my feelings towards her. I don't care for her music, and I don't care for her as a person. Did a live last night about real men don't talk about what goes on in another man's parts. Finesse with no mess. Oh, well, I don't care what you did. My podcast. Why you in here talking about your podcast for? I find that kind of disrespectful. But I'm going to let you ride, though. Don't let that happen again. Don't nobody promote me. Don't nobody donate to me. I do these out of the back end of doing this for Google, basically. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for that. The page is monetized. But and we're about to make a quick announcement before I get back to what I was saying. They're going to pretty soon here. I'm moving the vessel a little bit. I found a better opportunity for me to do as far as streaming, so I'm going to move towards that because I think it'll be a little bit more lucrative than it is with the residuals that we receive here on this app. Like I did for the other one when I tried to start that, but that was here on YouTube. And I picked it up or whatever, but I'm going to send y'all the link for that live because I want people to join me in on that one too. You know what I mean? It's not if you all for Diddy or against Diddy. I'm not here to judge that. What I am here to judge is I've seen an obvious thing where women that are negative are being promoted more than women that are positive. And that's the problem for me. I don't think women that are doing OnlyFans should be promoted by Angela Yee. I don't think women like Meg Thee Stallion, when Meg was going through a thing and she broke up with Clay, we turned around and we promoted her and said, oh, she's a hell of a woman. Now she's in a new song talking about she don't want to get married. Fuck all that marriage. This is going out to the baby. So I'm just saying, like, what side of the spectrum do y'all sit on? As far as like women being influenced, women, I just don't get it. And it seems kind of like getting kind of phony nowadays. You know, are we for women's rights or are we for certain situations that happen that involve women? And the person, depending on if they're a celebrity or not, then that's when we're for women's rights. But if it's this Joe Blow, I did a story the other day about this girl, and now this police officer's been fired. I don't know if y'all were here for that. And the guy punched the girl in her face like 20 times. Like he was punching her like, yo, you my ex-wife and I just got to whoop you up or something like that. It was very bad. And there was a cop that came behind and tried to grab him off him or whatever. But this guy was just a gun-ho amateur cop. You could tell he was young. I saw a picture of him. I said, yeah, I knew he was young. This was an amateur cop that was getting off all his testosterone. But the fact remains is he beat the hell out that black girl. And nobody rallied around her. But y'all rallied around. Hey, man. I want to get married now. I'm Clay, and there's Angela Yee, and there's a couple here and so that's why I say I get confused when you girls say, hey, we want equal rights, we want this, whatever. It looks like you want all the rights and none of the responsibility to me or accountability. That's all I'm saying. Now, as far as my comments about Angela Yee, I don't hate Angela Yee. I don't wish nothing bad on Angela Yee. Like that. I really, really don't. But she knows what I've been saying. Let's put it that way. Because I say it somewhere else. I guarantee you she knows what I'm saying. So anyway, it's not just Angela Yee that I'm concerned with. It's a lot of women that carry on these negative stories about these girls and use it as an influence tool for these young girls. I just heard recently that Love and Hip Hop is being taken off the line. This is the last season for that. There's another one of those, such and such, whatever county housewives being taken out. Thank God. Thank God. Another bad influence tool. Now they'll use this and they'll recreate the series. Trust me on that. It's going to be some cast members that get some spinoffs. Whoever the characters are. I don't know who the characters are nowadays, but the Love and Hip Hop has now been replaced by baddies. And baddies is worse than Love and Hip Hop, in my opinion. All the girls on there, what do? Fight, 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 fight. Bitch. I know you ain't talking to me, fight. How come nobody in 15, 16, 17 years has never had a problem with that? Nobody's had a problem. You seen Love and Hip Hop? Yeah, I'm so glad it's going off TV. I really am. I said, if this is an influence tool for my daughter, something like that, it needs to be taken off TV. But you know what's going to happen? People are going to come to YouTube and all these other different apps and find it. They'll find reruns of it, they'll rewatch it again, etc., etc., etc. So you'll never really end it because it's still out there in the stratosphere. You'll never really end its influence. So taking it off, hey, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you'll never end its influence. They'll go back and they'll watch episodes of it they never watched before, etc., etc. It is what it is. What's going on, man? He said, I'm all for Diddy. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Nah, I just don't I don't appreciate the fakeness to be out here. You know, it'd be a lot of fake shit. That's why I said this time around, I really want Puff to hurry up and get out of jail. I think Puff should be out of jail based on circumstances of a lot of different things, but he's not. I want Puff to be out of jail. I ain't even gonna hold y'all one bit. I do. And I'm glad, there's only really one left. 50's out there. He's good. Rick Ross is good. Yeah, you're good. But there's only really one left, and that's Jay. Now Jay's the only, everything's on Jay right now. He's got the whole world on his shoulder. You're the last one left. You're the last one left for representation of that. Good job what you did with the boys the other night on the stage. Good job. That definitely worked, huh? Mm-hmm. Hold on one second, yeah. Dominicans. Dominicans. La gente la salud, la dominicana. You already know. So anyway, listen. If nobody's upset about these things that I just mentioned and they're concerning girls, I don't know what to tell y'all. The only thing I'm going to say is, and I'll continue to say it, some of these stories that y'all putting out here are going to look kind of phony. Like y'all really don't care like that. You understand me? That's all I'm saying. Anyway, anybody got any questions you got for me, anything like that on how I feel about anything or what's my perspective on anything? I'd love to hear it right now if you got a question for me, anything like that. As far as I was talking about earlier, yeah, I'm going to be moving the lives from off here. I will still be uploading it here. I know y'all heard me say this 2 or 3 times, and we tried it 2 or 3 times with different apps. I was trying with Rumble at one moment. Rumble is not for me. Like Rumble, I think Rumble is good for that. I got tens of thousands of followers, but some of these guys have hundreds of thousands of followers. So even if you got tens of thousands of followers, you're not going to be as effective on Rumble as if you have already like 200,000, 300,000 following you over. You've already got, even if 70% of that crowd of your subscribers follows you over to another app, you're lucky. But most of the time, it's only going to be about 30 to 40%. Most of them don't want to go through the trouble. You got 3 things you run into. They don't want to go through the trouble of downloading a new app. You understand what I'm saying? That's the one thing. Can I view it through the browser? If I can do it through the browser, I'll go there with you. That's very important. Many of y'all might not think that, but after doing this for like 6 years, I can tell y'all that I know most of the tricks and stuff like that. I probably 6%. You understand what I'm saying? Got that Mr. Beast, Marquise Brownie level to reach. You know what I mean? But we're gonna do it. So it's the point. It's the pain of that. They got to download a new app, and most people they don't want to download a new app just to come see your punk ass. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But if you have a new app the other thing is you're starting over from the scratch. Even if you start a new page on here, you're starting from scratch. And preferably, you don't want the same people that are on the same page to follow you. You want new people to follow you, right? So that's why it's going to be certain people that I definitely am going to be sending the link to today for you to follow me on the new location or whatever. We're going to try to get as many of y'all over there as we possibly can. And then the best thing about it is I won't even have to ask for cash apps anymore. So I want to make sure that the people over there now, I'm going to tell you this, since I'm not collecting cash apps, it's because of the privacy of the app. It's not because of y'all. Make sure of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not because of that. But it's also to get rid of some of these people that come in and, you know, they're kind of like the police of the internet or some shit. I don't know what it is. It's like some weird shit. Like I have people come in here and they'll literally be like, he's on there asking for cash apps. Like, what vlogger don't ask for cash apps? And I didn't even, at the time, I've been here for 45 minutes. I didn't even mention cash app. I just put it on the screen, just like everybody else does. But if you don't like me, I'm not your favorite blogger, you're going to do that. You know what I mean? So we'll get that out of the way too. So I think me going live, which seems to be the issue. Another issue is I got people on my page, every time they see me share something, they're coming in and they're flagging it or whatever. A lot of people don't want the message I talk about to get through to people. It's the truth. It's the obvious truth. And it's sad because the only message I'm veering at is you've got to look at everything from every perspective. You can't look at it just from one perspective. And this is what judges, lawyers, and everybody else does. They look at things from all perspectives and see which one laterally makes truth. And so if you're mad about Cassie, or you're mad about Diddy, or whatever the case may be, I understand. But you're not going to take it out on me. And that's what a couple personalities on here, including one that was just mentioned not too long ago. How you doing, doll? That was fucking beautiful. Anyway, that guy. Anyway, there's certain type of people that are online that have a preference for women making cash apps and men not. There's certain people that are online that if you talk about what they are associated with or whatever the case may be, they will now iron you out and electively, voluntarily come to your page and try to destroy it because you said something that they didn't like. Case in example, Saturday I had something to do. So I'm going through and I'm like, you know, let me go through my phone real quick or whatever. I was in the middle of some music shit going on and everything like that. So I didn't really have time to vlog like that. That's why I had this uploads that day. And so what I noticed was there was a video of mine that was flagged. And it was flagged for, I believe they said something of excessive something or another. I don't know what it was or whatever. But I was like, it was about Chud the Builder. Out of all the lives that I have up, it was about Chud the Builder. I lied to you now. I put it in the community section so you guys can see it. And I said, this is a guy that's running around literally, and I mean literally running around, arrested, in jail right now, for walking up to people with an armed hammer on him and telling people, yo, what is it? Do you believe in free speech? Blah, 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 blah. I want to give a shout out to, and see, I always 50-50 with this guy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. O'Shea Duke Jackson just put up a video. Y'all should go check it out. He just put up a video and he was talking about, and it was real interesting to me, about a gentleman amongst a few other gentlemen that are online, that are black gentlemen, like I told y'all early on before, that are advocating for Chud. So that particular live, I guess, that I did, even though I erased it, it still got me a strike. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Out of all the stuff that I've said here on my channel, I get flagged for this dodo? No, because there was some people following me because they had heard 3 or 4 lives. Whenever they see his name in the live and they see somebody that's brown attached to it, they coming. You just got to expect that they coming. You understand what I'm saying? So I already knew what the odds were. But yeah, I got flagged for that. It's all good though. We be all right. You know what I mean? Things happen. You know what I'm saying? But I think that has something to do with my views right now. But I think I know what to do. Just got to put in a little bit more input, things like that or whatever. Second thing I wanted to talk about was this, and so I'll be sending that link out to certain people. Bettina Gray, I want to thank you for your donation. I appreciate that. Looking out, whatever. I got a poll, so hit the link in my description box before you just type in my cash app if you want to donate, because that's got a pool on it, and I got to reach that pool to get that money. So make sure you guys donate to the pool. It's only like $120 or something like that, I think. So, contribute whatever, like y'all do with all the other vloggers. If not, appreciate y'all for the views. We still get paid anyway. You know what I'm saying? Even though we gotta wait. I wanted to talk about this because it kind of disturbed me a little bit, and it's kind of the temperament of black people. I think, and my birthday's been going for like a week and a half now at this point. Week and a half my birthday was. And so I had a poll up, and these are the pools that you do or whatever. And I had one up, but I think it was for $500. It was light work. And I said I had it up a month before my birthday actually happened. Listen, hear me out. I'm not talking down on black people. I just want you to hear what I'm saying. Some of the behavior, and Latinos too. So I put up this poll, whatever pool, excuse me, and nobody donated to it. Not one person. It wasn't even nothing contributed to it. I was like, wow, what'd I do? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, woo, what did I do? Like, really? And that's how much hate you have coming from, I guess you say, African Americans and Latinos, anytime that you speak about Puff in a way opposite that they don't want you to. You understand? And so it is what it is. I think building a new community, but let me continue. So as of last night, I had, once again, another woman and left a very detailed message on how she felt. I don't know this woman. I've never told this woman. Hell, I didn't even know she followed me. You understand? Because she was actually a subscriber. I went to her page, as I do. She left a comment, but my comments are filtered. So if you write anything too, extravagant, they get filtered. So nobody else can see them, but I can see them in YouTube Studio. Happens all the time. You even write one word and YouTube doesn't like it, they'll put you in that category, in that space right there. Well, I can see it, but the rest of the crowd can't see it because I had a filter on. If you're a long-time YouTuber, you know this. So, and I filter the messages too. So just so you know that in the live chat. So you're not allowed to say certain things. Like you'll say something, and like I can see right now, there's a message held for review. If they don't like it, they'll get rid of it. So this is an umpteen message I got a week and a half after my birthday. And this black woman expressed to me that doesn't know me, how she felt about donations, how she felt about my personal life, how she felt about me going online, like she was my mother. And I'm like, wow, this is coming from a complete stranger. Do you know how neurotic and crazy you have to be to try to reprimand a complete stranger that's an adult man that lives on his own, that doesn't need you for a thing? Do you know how nuts you have to be to leave this long message for me? But she was trying to reprimand me like a mammy. And that's what it is. All right? That's what it is. Women that come online like this and try to reprimand men, no, you're wrong. It's like this. And I'm like, well, it's been like this since I know with men. I mean, I've been standing up to use the bathroom for a long time. I usually end the conversation when I say that. I've been standing up to use the bathroom for a long time. It ain't never been like that. Try it, fellas. Really, I've been standing up to use the bathroom for a long time. It ain't never been like this. I've been to gym lockers for a long time. It ain't been like this. I ain't see you there. How you know? And you have to point this out because this woman is basically trying to financially sabotage me, but at the same time, financially navigate me. This is a very dangerous behavior from vanity-driven, narcissistic women. So what I've seen as a trend is men that have popular podcasts or whatever, there are these groups and batches of black American women, specifically, I don't know for whatever reason, but go after these men. You understand? You said something they don't like. You've had a topic that they don't like. This happens with white gentlemen too. I've seen this happen with white men, but I'm not a white man. But I could say I've seen this happen with white men as well. We get these group of women and they say, I don't like what he said. So they go after him. I've seen them do this with the likes of Joe Rogan and others subsequently. So for me, they've done it to me now. And it happened during the Diddy trial a year ago when I was down there busting my ass actually at the trial, not sitting in my bedroom giving criteria on it and critique. I was actually there, foot on ground. So, and guys, if you want to see that, just put in Diddy trial, and I'll have the separate days on there or whatever. Just put in my name and put that behind it. It'll come right up for verification. DAVINLEWIS. Now, I'm confused because isn't that taking away my rights? This little subtle introductions to fascism, socialism, Marxism, that's going on in society, and it's going on mostly online. That's what I'm finding out. Mostly online, these ideas. You should think like this. The fuck why? Because you said so? I had a person write to me the other day. I'm going to get back to this woman, but I had a person write to me the other day. No, this is the way you're supposed to think. And I'm like, you a complete stranger. Where do you live at? This person lives in the Midwest. How the fuck do you know what's going on up here in the New York City tri-state? Excuse my French. That's two complete different worlds. But you'll have these people that will force themselves and impose themselves into your comment section, into your life, or whatever, like this woman did. So this woman says to me, and I want to quote her because I memorized partially most of it. She was basically telling me, you shouldn't be on here asking for any donations. I said, well, ma'am, I don't. I just put my Cash App up like every other podcaster does, including the favorite podcasters you got, because along with seeing her profile and seeing that she followed me, I could also see the other podcasters that she followed. And all those podcasters are gossipers. Now, you wasn't aware of that, but I was. Why? Because I've been doing this for 6 fucking years. How you think I got 10,000 of followers? Sitting there doing nothing? So I took that into consideration. I said, all right, I'm going to let it go. I kept reading further. Then she started getting into this thing where she was like, and I don't like the topics that you talk about, the blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, why not, ma'am? I was talking about Chud the Builder and how he shot a man in the chest that's a U.S. military veteran. I moved to the third section of this long-ass damn near book this bitch has written. Excuse my French, I'm mad about this. Because this woman did not know me. And like this shit with women jumping online trying to reprimand men, it ain't gonna work. You can reprimand your boyfriend, you can reprimand your husband, but the community is not your boyfriend or husband. And I think a lot of women are starting to get that really, really mucked up. I am not your boyfriend. I'm not your husband. I'm not your cousin. I'm not your brother. I'm not your son. So you don't have any factory and reprimanded me for anything online or offline. And this is why I talk about this contingency of like, you've got people that are acting out their personalities online, offline now. And that's going to be an issue. You understand what I'm saying? That's going to be a real issue, not only with myself, but with many other people. And so I'm reading this whole dissertation that this woman wrote me out. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen and hit the like button. I'm reading this whole dissertation that this woman has written me, telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't do, how much money I should make, and how much I shouldn't make, and what times, periods in my conversation on my podcast is a channel that I build, when I should take donations and how I should ask for them, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, bitch, just say you broke. Like the bitches that go to the club and ain't got number $40 in their pocket, just say you broke. And that's what I hear a lot of times online nowadays is people that won't admit. So you got to be real with yourself. If you're in financial hardship, you got to let it be known. You trying to disguise it. Like, let me tell you what I mean. The baddest bitch in the world will come to the club. She got $40 in her pocket, right? Men, if you're in the chat room, please testify, say amen in the chat room. Bitch will come to the club with $40 in her pocket. This is an age-old tale. White men, black men, Puerto Rican men, Chinese men, they all tell you the same thing. Internationally, they'll tell you the story. If you go to the club, there's a 65% chance that the chick that you messing with is in some type of financial peril. First of all, to be drinking like that. Second of all, to require multiple drinks. But third of all, you've got to be out of your mind to come to this club with only $40 in your pocket. Now, this is the same person that will engage in this behavior, or have friends that engage in this behavior, or have girlfriends engage in this behavior, or know people that engage in this behavior, or basically panhandling, but offline. This is panhandling. If you come to the club with $40 and you ain't got no money to buy yourself no other drinks than $40, and now you asking men to buy you drinks, bitch, you panhandling. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? If I come to the club with $40, and depending on where I go to, if it ain't too exclusive, I may can get 3 drinks out of that. If I come to the club with $40 as a man, and I say, all day I got is this $40. As long as I tell the fellas before the bar that all I got is $40, it's 9 times out of 10 chances they're your boys, you're going to be fine. But as women won't do that. Oh, they'll roll with 4 or 5 other chicks that got good jobs, work real hard, and everything like that. And that one bitch, she got $40 in her pocket. I'm gonna make it happen tonight on some sucker. There have been families started like this. You think I'm lying? Listen, I live in Connecticut, bro, and I used to live further out in Connecticut on the shoreline. I know, and y'all would be crazy to believe how many little small towns that they have families start out with couple that met in the bar. Where'd you meet at? I met her over there at the bar. I met her over there at the tavern. That's all we got out on the shoreline, taverns and bars. So trust me when I tell you this. I know families that have been started because of the bar, and many of y'all do too. How many of y'all in here? I want to make sure I reach y'all. Okay. So, it's a lot of families that start, even in the cities, that start from bars. So you go in there and you find a chick and she ain't got nothing but $40 in her pocket. At that point, it is your responsibility to avoid that bitch at all costs, because it's always going to be like that. It's always going to be like that. Listen to me one more time. It's always going to be like that. But hoes don't want to talk about that. Sorry for my French. I got to say it. Because I had a woman try to reprimand me like she was my girlfriend. What is the case? I got to ask Black Americans. What is this new thing that y'all do when y'all run around telling people don't donate, don't support, don't do this or whatever, but at the same time want to stand uniformly as a group, y'all determining who is or who ain't, like there's some fucking judgment system that y'all invented. Who's black, who's not, da, da, da. My mother's Black American. My father's Cuban American. He is darker than the ace of spades, and I look just fucking like him. Yo sabe español ahí, tú sabes un clero. Para la gente latino, tú sabes salud. Pero la gente la libre, la gente la cubana. Tú sabes un clero que sí. So, I be laughing when niggas be like, well, you ain't black. Nigga, Tupac Shakur's mother, godmother, rest her soul, died in Cuba just a year and a half ago. And Fidel and Raul were hiding her. And many other Black Panthers. But these niggas would sit there and tell you, y'all don't fuck with them. They speak Spanish. They're different. The separation, when you need the most togetherness you've ever needed for your life. I can grant you this. There's so many people out that are just, I don't know if it's administration per se. I don't think it's that. I think it's more so the people that have their own belief systems around the administration that's currently in the constituency. I think that's the issue. I think a lot of people have taken it as, okay, now it's go time to say whatever I want to. I think X is one of the biggest fillers of this space. You go on X, and since Elon Musk has ran it, I had a post and it literally had a Nazi salute with Hitler with it, and it had you know how you take a sticker? You could take a sticker and he put in a Jewish person with a yarmulke. And I reported this shit, and they said, nah, this don't violate our free, this doesn't violate, the terms or whatever. And I'm like, for real? So since Elon Musk has taken over that shit, I've seen one thing, and that's the increase in these racist groups that are like, in my opinion, and there's many of different ones, but in my opinion, the white ones seem to be a little bit more insidious. This is not inclusive of all white people. And I need a lot of blacks and Latinos to be aware of that. This is not. I've grown up nothing but around Italians and Greeks my whole entire life. My best friend, one of my best friends that just died was Italian American. And I'm talking about real Italian, Sicilian, not police. So, no offense to anybody. But anyway, long story short here, I see a lot of Black and Latin people online doing the same behavior. Y'all need to cut that out. This is no reason why you should be running around telling people right now is the time you need to separate, when that is the very last thing you want to do right now is separate. These groups that are forming up on Twitter, and I've seen a few on Reddit, but Reddit, they usually take care of it. And there was another space too. I forgot where it was, but I've seen ones that were anti-immigration. I'm partial with that. We got some issues here in our state that need to be taken care of. One of them is we have a mayor that doesn't want INS in here. And when INS needs to be in here, meaning the immigrants that we're receiving are not like the traditional Latinos that we've always gotten from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, the ones that we know. These are different types of Latinos. And some of these people, I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, I was sitting at a spot, and this spot has never been known for behavior like this. I'm sitting down, and I'm minding my own business, and two men walk up. and directly in front of me, both of them pull out their, I'm gonna say it as best I can for the terms of the app, pull out their phallus and begin to urinate in front of me. No, excuse me, no, not this. Hey, it's okay to do that. And I'm like, I had to call the guy out and tell him to stop. As I told him that, you had another guy come up and do the exact same thing, not even minutes later. So I'm like, there's something peculiar about this, because I don't see any of the people that are part of the town doing behavior like this. I only see people that are immigrated here, whatever the case may be, partaking in this type of behavior. So as far as like, how can I say it? As far as like subjects that you guys could be talking about over here, that you don't, you just kind of like skip over because the algorithm depends on whatever you talk about or was ever highlighted at the time. Those are some of the things and some of the topics you need to start sitting on. So for me, I don't have a problem with the immigrants that we have, but it seems like they have a problem with everybody else. And like I said, this is not the traditional Latin Caribbean Latinos that we're used to here in the tri-state. These are people from like places like Ecuador and places I've never really heard of like that. Peru, like I don't know too many people that say, hey, I'm going to Peru this summer, but I know a million people say, yo, we're going down to DR this summer. We're going to Puerto Rico this summer. So you're familiar with the culture a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? And the thing I would have to say about Latin Caribbeans versus Latin Americans that are coming is that Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and all of them from the Latin Caribbean countries, they were more, even though they kept their culture, they were more, how can I say, integrated with both black and white culture. You understand what I'm saying? You can see that reflected way they dress, way they do music, everything else. But I just, and I'm saying that as being half Cuban myself, I know this more than anybody. I'll just say like this. For the black Americans that do that type of behavior, you're despicable. Like that's just an all-time low, and that's just like putting so much influence on you're not trying to stop Ched the Builder, and he raised $370,000 in 3 days, and this guy was literally running around calling people the N-word and pointing a gun to the chest. I watched him mace a girl that was like 19 years old. He's a pussy. I watched Luigi Mangione, and I went down there to the prison. It's still on this channel. I went down there to the MDC, and he had raised $500,000, and we all watched him kill that guy. We all know he did it. I watched, what's this other guy's name? He got raised some money. Jack Lang. I heard he's raising money now, and his charges are terrible. Like, literally terrible. So you got these guys, like, there's this, hold on one second. I want to just brighten this up a bit. There's this notion, and I talked about, oh yeah, Sean Grant, or whatever his name is. He was the one who was in on the murder of Julio Fulio. This guy's got an Instagram page, and people are donating to him. And I got a video on my page where people are donating to him. This black woman wasn't talking against that, but she was talking against a vlog that didn't have to agree with what she was saying and being in her mammy stance, which really translates to, I don't believe men of color are shit, so this is how I'm going to carry it. That's really what she's trying to say. Any black American woman that has that attitude with you or whatever, you got to understand she represents a lot of different things. The first thing she represents is her vanity. Now, the vanity sometimes can be real. The vanity can sometimes be, how can you say, created. A lot of these girls, they paint on faces. That ain't even a real face. You take the makeup off, you got a monster. You understand? Please believe that, fellas. You understand? Y'all better start taking these bitches swimming. I keep trying to tell y'all young boys, take these hoes swimming. You know, anything you need to know that first time. Oh, all right, you all right. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all better start taking these hoes swimming. An ugly person is an ugly person, whether it's inside or out, whatever the case may be. It's not determined on character, because some white girls could have done that to me. It's not profitable, but I would just say, like, a lot of black women that have taken on this attitude like that, why are you always by yourself? Is that a fair question to ask? Why are you always by yourself? I've seen hundreds of videos where these girls, I can't find a good man, because you're fucking mean and evil. That's why you can't find a man. Men don't want to marry evil bitches. I don't, like, imagine me getting up early in the morning and I got to just hear all your drama and trauma about nothing. It's not progressive. It doesn't help me. It doesn't go into the attributes of building a business, getting me back on top of the music industry and nothing like that. I don't have time for it. I don't have time for shit like that. And I got people that I'm around that just don't understand that behavior. They don't understand if you wilding out. I don't give a fuck. They don't understand that. You understand what I mean? And so you couldn't do that. I would have to get rid of you. I'd be forced to get rid of you. So I just want to make sure that, oh shit, I just want to make sure that I don't insult black women, but I gotta say, in my comment section, that seems to be the highlight of the conversation almost each and every time about my Cash App. Not the subject that I'm talking about, not anything else. It's just how much money is that nigga getting? I'm here to answer you. With all your influence, none. All my revenue comes from YouTube, literally. You understand? The other day, Bettina Gray, shout out to Bettina. She's a long-term listener of mine or whatever. She donated, I think it was $25 to me in the pool. So if you guys want to do that, you can hit the Cash App link in the description box so y'all can do that. But I just want to say it's testimony for myself before I end this. I have never, and let me tell you something, I didn't argue with the best of them, Storm and Roll. I was at it with King Payne for a minute. What's the other chick's name? She just contacted me not too long ago too. The chubby chick. Jesus Christ, what's her name? Y'all know who I'm talking about too. As soon as I say her name, she went to jail for a minute. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Kind of chubby. She out of Detroit, I think. I went at it with her. Toxic Diamond, that's her name. Toxic Diamond. I went at it with her. I went at it with some real people. You know what I'm saying? Well, even one chick that just got mentioned just a minute ago, me and her had it out for a minute. I decided to let the other business take its course. I let the other business take its course now. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to do with that no more. But I've been at war with some of the best vloggers out there. And one thing that I unilaterally have never done, and you can catch me on record for saying this, I've never, ever suggested to my crowd that you don't donate, that you don't support, especially somebody that's African American, because I know how hard it is. This for vloggers in general, to make money on here now. Another thing that I pointed out is a lot of women that are in these negative spaces, not good women, but the women that are in these negative spaces, they're like collectively getting together and telling women, don't donate to men. No. I ain't talking about black men, white men, just men in general. Don't donate to those men. And like the misandry is so deep and so embedded in these women that it just comes off as evil. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I never in my life would fan to believe, yo, you know what? Don't donate to these women. I've never said no shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even muster it up. I think it would be kind of soft to do some shit like that. So I'm just giving you an example of like the things that I go through on my lives or whatever, and why I'm moving, and I'm choosing to leave this platform and go to another platform, because I just think it would be better for me to do the lives over there, because I got people that are attentive. If I want you out the space, I can see who you are to get you out the space. That's another problem I have with YouTube. You can have people, there's people in here right now, and none of them are saying a word, not because they don't want to, it's because they're hiding. You understand what I'm saying? There's people on here that won't hit the like button, not because they don't want to, because they're hiding, they have other intentions. And this goes with everybody's page. Everybody's got these people. But dig the site. You see how one of them just jumped off when I said that? Y'all saw the view count go when I said that? Yeah, there's people like that. There's vloggers that watch other vloggers because they don't have a story to talk about. So what they do is they borrow from the other vlogger because they don't have any talent. So you got a lot of these guys that are copycats, mimics, and everything else you want to talk about on here, whatever. And I never complain about any of them. So I would appreciate, just for the future, that we take forward with one thing here. And that one thing is this. I would appreciate in the future that Black American people stop coming to my, especially you women, stop coming to my page talking about don't donate to that guy. I mean, like, what is your purpose? What's the end game with that? I just want to know. Because I feel like, and this is just me, I feel like if you'll do that with me, you do that with anybody. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not just protecting myself, it's thinking about other people. If you'll do that with me, who else have you done that with? Like, and if you think I'm bullshitting here, I'll give you an example. One time somebody was having a podcast about me, and somebody sent me the link for the podcast. So I went into the podcast live. I sat there for about 30 minutes, and I just listened to everything they had to say. And it was from this woman tried to set me up. And good thing I was there on the podcast or whatever. But this woman tried to basically set me up. She had donated, well, her friend had donated $100 to me. I didn't ask her. She volunteered to do it. And so I said, thank you, everything like that. Sat with her, answered a couple of questions. At the time, it was a subject about a woman that was involved with the Diddy situation or whatever. And I didn't give her anything like negative to run with or anything like that because I knew better. I said, that's what they're looking for. And I also made a point clear because I don't do interviews with people. I have never, you won't find one interview attached with me except for one. And it really wasn't even an interview. It was just kind of like a sit down real quick. You know what I mean? And I ended up veering the conversation off to something else. I let it stand for like maybe 5 minutes and I moved on to something. Now, I'm not here to talk about the music industry. You know, I have to do that whenever I have people that are interested in talking or what. I'm not here to talk about the music industry. I'm not here to talk about anybody I worked with in the music industry, any of that. I don't do those conversations because what happens is people, they're so nosy and so much of voyeurs nowadays. What they do is they translate that, whatever you said, and they make something off of maybe 10 seconds of what you said. And then they fold it into a narrative, produce it to people, and then it's up to the dummies to whether believe it or don't believe it, you know? And so that's where you're at. Most of the time, people out of necessity, because they like drama and trauma, that seems to lead these apps. They go with the drama and trauma. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I just want to make that clear. Ain't nobody begging y'all for no cash apps. I don't know why somebody's writing that in my chat room, leaving me novels to read. That was a novel. I read through that shit. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? Like, I'm dead serious. I was like, this is a complete stranger that's writing me this. I want you to understand. If I did this to a woman, I would be looked at as a weirdo. So why is that woman looked at as a weirdo? You get what I'm saying here? Like, you would be a weirdo. So, you know, I don't know, man. It just kind of bothers me that that's the place that we're at in society, where women really think it's okay to say whatever, do whatever to men, and there's like no repercussions. Nobody should say anything. Y'all pardon me. I'm just getting up for a second. My legs are killing me. There's no repercussions for it. I can't curse at you. I can't tell you how I really feel. Nothing. But you can say whatever the fuck you want to me. Nah, I don't move that way. So, like I said, don't donate. I don't care. But one thing I'm not going to take is a disrespect on my channel. People talking to me any old kind of way that they want to talk to me, and I've done nothing to you. I've said nothing to you, and that's the whole point. Sometimes people come in and they hear me speaking, and they're like, why are you talking to those people like that? They're so innocent. I was like, this person's not innocent. This person just came in here and insulted my mother. This person just came in here and said something about my father. My father's dead. You see what I'm saying? And if I haven't engaged or initiated the conversation like that, at that point, you're in the wrong, not me. And you see this behavior all the time from a lot of different people, and I'm just kind of like sick of it at this point. I'm like, okay, what are Black and Latin people doing nowadays, except trying to tear each other down online? That seems to be the mode. You know what I mean? Like today, the story about Cassie moving out of the country or whatever the case may be, whatever speculative. I went over that earlier. Just go back to the beginning of the video. You can hear it. I mean, that right there is going to have its own narrative around it. You know, you're going to have people in a minute, oh my God, Cassie's scared to live in America because of Diddy might be getting out and blah, blah, blah. You know, like they'll build a narrative over it and not even know what's going on. Cassie, for all rights and measures, could be helping Puff right now by moving out of the country. I mentioned earlier, if she doesn't return or gives up her citizenship or whatever, all null and void, or her previous litigations in the courtroom. See what I'm saying? They'll throw it out. You have to be present for. When it comes to litigation of civil lawsuits, you have to be present in the United States. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's something that you have to be present for. So if she's not present for it, it's not like something she could do over Zoom or something like that. It's not that. No. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I don't know, man. Y'all want to take a walk with me? I'm going to take a walk. I'm just sitting in the same spot, and it's freaking hot out here. I need something to eat. But y'all got me on lunch. Head up to Cash App for lunch. Y'all do that. $STRINGERBELL80. You see it right there on the screen. I'll prefer for you guys, if you're going to send the super chats or do the little sticker thing, go ahead and do it. I prefer you to Cash App. It's like a lot better because they still take a percentage out of that, regardless of what y'all think. This app, man, let me tell y'all, that's another reason I'm switching apps, because this app, literally everything that we make, even this stream right here, after the stream is done, give me 2 bases. They're going to give me 1 base, and that 1 base is going to be this. It's going to be what I actually made. Then they're going to deduct like 30% of it, and then that's actually going to be what I actually get. You know what I mean? So that's how this app works. And I think a lot of people are tired of it because it's like, it's really ripping us off. You know what I mean? Like everything I make, I owe you. You know? I was like, I don't know. It's hard. Put it that way. That's why we depend on it. But yeah, if you guys gonna hit that up, I appreciate it, whatever. If you don't, you don't. I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna beg nobody like that lady said. That was funny to me. I'm like, since when did putting my cash up on the screen offend somebody? And I'm like, this is a black, oh, you got it. This is a black woman talking to me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I'm just kind of offended. I'm just like, this is a woman that gives birth to guys that look like me. And she's on my podcast, leaving a comment, talking about how she personally feels about a stranger. I'm a stranger to this woman. And it was just, I'm gonna take a screenshot of it like I do with the other comments and stuff that I get. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it and I'm gonna put that up too, so y'all can see, because I'm just kind of like keeping a record. I'm like, I have said nothing to these women. I've literally got on this channel, as many of y'all know, and defended black women vehemently. You understand what I'm saying? Just 2 days ago about the girl that got punched in the face by the officer. And I'm like, this is what you write? And then she said, and I quote, she said, and I don't like the subjects you talk about. They have no validity. I'm like, a black woman getting beat up by the police has no validity? What the fuck? So it was like, to me, it's just like you're saying something just to say something. That's not actually how you feel. You're just saying it to say it in the chat room or whatever the case may be. And I just think that's, you know what I mean, dude? That's just fucked up, bro. So guys, make sure you hit the Cash App or whatever to support the channel. But if you don't, you don't. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm not offended. I'm not hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like, my birthday was a week and a half ago. You writing this now? It was weird to me, you know? I gotta say that. It was weird to me. I'm like, you gotta understand, people go out of their way to leave stuff like that to you. It's usually because one reason and one reason only. That reason is this. They see you as a threat, for one. Number two, they don't like your messaging because of the pure simple fact it affects them. So, for example, if I'm up here and I'm talking about something that's against somebody's narrative that they have online, 9 times out of 10 what you're going to get is you're going to get people, and I mean this all the time, you're going to get people that sometimes or another, they somehow or another form these narratives that are like crazy. Like, I'll give you an example. There was this one going around about Pup was dealing with kids and all this crap or whatever. I was like, that's not true. So we went out, we found out that's not true. Then there was another narrative put out about this numerous different stars, and you're saying these guys are not engaging in this type of behavior like that, and it's being pushed towards people. You know what I mean? And then after you find out for yourself that that's not what's going on. Y'all guys give me a second. I'm gonna take a breath for a minute. I'm fucking tired. When you find out that this is not the shit that's going on in the stories, everybody doesn't push that narrative. They just push the narrative that was there. So I saw in the chat room somebody had wrote, and I trust me, I seen it. Oh, she finally got away from Puff. I said, what do you mean she finally got away from Puff for good? Oh, the poor darling she was running. I'm like, this chick literally is the same person, and y'all know what I'm talking about. This is literally the same person that in court admittedly said, hey, you know what? I cheated on my then boyfriend. For whatever reasons, I'm not here to judge that, but the fact remains and the narrative remains, and I'll keep on saying it. This girl literally cheated on this man in his home. Got a boyfriend out of it, dude became a husband, and got some kids out of it. And we're never talking about that. And I said, you know, we got to talk about all behaviors involved, and not just one set of behaviors or whatever. Everybody inclusive behavior, and that would include Cassie as well. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be detouring or to anyone. I'm just saying, let's just stick it for what it is. There's definitely two systems out here. There's one for men and there's one for women when it comes to social media. And the one for women, I just feel has a little bit more stride to it, a little bit more cooperation towards it or whatever, to the point that they're now being negative to the men and telling other women in this misandrous tone, this type of shit. And I don't get it. I don't get it at all. That's not how I am. I'll never be like that. I don't hate black chicks. You know what I'm saying? That's obvious. But I don't like these narratives that are created to like You take a narrative, you build it, and then you float along with that narrative. So you got 10 girls going with the same narrative. Men hate women. You know what I'm saying? I don't walk around talking about I hate women. Shit, I love chicks. What it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what more the merrier, as long as it's cool. But its misandrous tone was a tone that woman was using with me, vanity lace and driven, of course. And I don't play that shit. So please don't write no more comments like that on my page, trying to detour people from, I don't know, donating or subscribing to my page. I just find it weird. And then more importantly, why are black people so like want to be recognized all the time? You ever ask yourself that question? Like, let me tell you one weird behavior that I don't like, I've been noticing lately. I'll get black guys who'll walk past me and they'll start doing this humming shit, or the second thing they'll do is they'll start reciting like violent ass rap lyrics or some shit like that. I don't know where the fuck they start doing this at, but it's weird as fuck. The other thing I'll get the girls will walk past you, and literally they will wait until they get right in front of you and start talking as loud as they possibly can on their cell phone or some shit like that. I'm like that's like weird ass behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have to, you're stuck trying to differentiate it, because you're like, okay, is she doing this because she wants me to flirt with her, or is she doing this because she's trying to gain my attention, or she just wants some attention for the moment? You don't fucking know. And so this is a lot of reasons why a lot of you girls are not being approached, because guys, they don't know. I don't know how many podcasts I've seen now, from Joe Rogan to a lot of other people, Fresh and Fit, everybody, that have all, even if you don't agree with them, all had the same example. A lot of guys, they're afraid to approach women nowadays because they don't know what the hell's going to be the outcome of it. You could be accused of something. You could be say, oh, he came on too forcibly, and they'll take a picture of you, put it up on social media. Now you Joe Dirt. You understand what I'm saying? Because you just asked a chick for a phone number. Now you Joe Dirt to her tens of thousands of followers. This is the game now. You know, not with all women. There's some great women out there. I want to give them the recognition, but there's some crazy bitches out here that'll look at nothing for more than a moment to be viral on social media. You know what I'm saying? And say that some guy did something to me, or some guy, he spoke to me the wrong way. I watched a girl on a man's podcast try to tell him how to direct his show that has over 245,000 subscribers. I said, this shit's crazy. And it's really vanity driven and narcissism. It's like this weird seed of Eve and Lilith that is resurrected. You know what I'm saying, if that makes any sense. It's like the strain of Eve and Lilith has returned. So I don't know, it's kind of scary, man. But yeah, that was a new one for me right there. I said, yo, this lady literally wrote me a letter to discourage me. You know, I was just like, I go through that with racists. I go through that with assholes. I go through that with a lot of different people. But it just feels a little bit different. I gotta say it. It just feels different when you go through it with black women. I don't know what that is, because I've never ever gotten on here and said, yo, don't donate to this black woman, or don't donate to this black podcaster because I don't like them. I think that's just like, I don't know, that's coward behavior, you know what I mean? And like I said, that seems to be the mantra here online. Did you do your live last night? Real men did a live last night. All real men don't go around talking about what goes on in another man's parts. It depends on the subject, I guess. It depends on the subject. I talk about subjects that are not like, I don't know, usually relative to like hip hop culture and nigga culture. You know, nigga culture dictates that you run around and you only specifically start shit with people that look just like you. That's nigga culture. And that's what you see online. You see a lot of nigga culture, especially from the girls, where if you see Chud the Builder on a podcast and you see him doing shit or whatever, weeks before he even shoots somebody, a U.S. military veteran, and you see no black people have a word to say on their podcast, but they've got everything to say about Umar Johnson. They got everything to say about this podcast. They got everything to say about that podcast. It's very specific, the conversations of when they're around, or who they talk about, when they talk about them, and how they talk about them. And I find, and many other people having the conversation, that Black Americans and Latin Americans seem to go hard on nobody but them, the other people that look just like them. They're not going up against Chud the Builder. They're not going up against Jack Lane. I haven't seen anybody. There's literally people on Twitter, and Twitter is like one of them. Twitter might as well be the new KKK recruitment station. Oh God, the shit I say, and the black KKK elite station too. I'm gonna say both of them because you got these two groups, blacks and whites, that are on there, and they're literally recruiting people like the KKK. And the funniest shit is when I see an immigrant or someone that's not from this country and they join into the conversation. I'm like, what the fuck do you have to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Ain't you got your own problems? How about that ice, huh? You know what I mean? But they'll join into the conversation. I've seen Latinos, white Latinos specifically. I've seen Indians that are darker than me. I've seen people from Eastern Europe join into these conversations. So they're all across the world internationally, these people that partake in these conversations. Now, where they go to the extreme and harm somebody, shoot somebody, kill somebody, I don't know. I know Chud the Builder did. He was willing to do it. And I know there's a lot of people that when I used to go visit his page, like I told y'all, because as soon as I found out about him, the first thing I started doing was watching his lives. And so let me see what he does on the live or whatever, because the only thing you're seeing is clips. So even for people that support him, it's hard because some people support him. Obviously, they gave him $370,000 to a killer, damn near. This person, I told you, America itself is messed up. We got Chud the Builder, we got this other guy, what's his name? Jesus Christ, what's this guy's name? The guy that killed Julio, I forgot what his name is, Sean Gareth, I think that's what his name is. He was one of the guys who was convicted for black on black crime. I'm gonna keep it real. These people have Instagram pages, donation sites. Luigi Mangione was able to raise $500,000. And he's got people that are actually rallying for him. I covered the story down there at the courthouse, as many of y'all know. I stopped going after the December 3rd hearing because it was so disgusting, the amount of people that were out there supporting Luigi Mangione. I was like, this man literally killed somebody. We all saw it. Y'all sending him money? So this is something I've always advocated against. We've gotten to this realm where we're like, it's three things I see that are disturbing. When somebody dies or reportedly dies, people are laughing at them. I speak against that. I think that's sick. I speak against people that do nefarious and insidious shit, and people reward them for doing that insidious shit. I speak against that. And the third thing I speak against is motherfuckers that are making money off of the insidious shit that they did. Nobody should be inviting themselves to donate to Luigi Mangione, Sean Gaffright, or the other guy, what's the name? Chud the Builder. Why are we giving them money? And that's something psychologically you guys got to sit on your head. Anyway, listen, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to give me some lunch. If you guys want to donate to the cause, give me some lunch. I appreciate it. If not, that's fine too. $STRINGERBELL80. Sorry about all the esoteric talk and all that. I know I usually don't do that, but I don't do it all the time. You know what I mean? I kind of like work my way through when I'm going to do it and when I don't do it, because sometimes you get to the esoteric talk, you'll lose people. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they don't like talking like that. Some people, the only thing they want to hear is who's sleeping with who, who's doing what with who, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's hard line to follow up when you talk about something that got some sense. But don't let anybody tell you don't donate to me, don't support me, or whatever. Ask them what's wrong with them that you would even come to that measure or have that position that you're saying that about anybody. I don't care who it is, because we all work hard on this app. We all bust our ass. I've been here for 6 years. I'm monetized, luckily, but a lot of people aren't, and they depend on the cash apps and things like that. So if you're online and you're telling people don't donate to this person, don't donate to that person, and that person is the same color as you, there's something fucking wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. Just make sure that you put your aggression in the right places. Be over there on Chud the Builder supporters pages. Tell people, don't donate to Chud the Builder. Where's that at? You understand what I'm saying? Instead, you're saying me. I'll talk to y'all later.